And welcome to Friday, everybody. Let me do a sound check, make sure we're hearing shit. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. How's everybody? God bless. God bless. Welcome to Friday. I'm so glad to see all of you. Um, wow, what a day it has been, right? There's so much today, I don't even know where to begin. But it is what it is. um, like the OGs say, right? Like the OGs say, it is what it is. And I'm glad to see all of you. I just love all of you so much. Wow, and I just got to say, these attorneys for Richard Allen have just been knocking it out of the park this week. It's a long time coming, right? A long time coming. It just goes to show everyone they tried to make out to be evil, to be scumbags, to be lowlifes, to be liars. Um, they're showing the world who they are. And it's just been wonderful. It's been a wonderful week. I want to acknowledge that to all of these individuals and thank them for having the bravery to come out and speak publicly and challenge the state's bullshit narrative, bullying and gaslighting head on. It's been beautiful to see. And so, with that, I greet you all. Happy Friday. And if you're on the replay, who knows when it is, but it's our Friday night show, and we're always happy on a Friday night show. And and tonight in particular, we're happy to have Alex Voorhies is going to join us later. He's coming to us from the Inferno, surrounded by flames. Alex Voorhees is in LA and has been fighting these flames, um, trying not to get burned up. And I don't mean to make light of the situation. I'm just trying to be optimistic and have a good time because I don't know about you guys, how much looking you've done, but I have been studying intensely what's going on. And just in case you don't know that this exists on the internet, there are a couple individuals who are using the e-bikes and GoPros to go through all the burned out zones in LA. And I highly recommend if you haven't seen for yourself firsthand the destruction that has gone down, uh, go exploring and find some guys on e-bikes who are driving all around the neighborhoods that are burned out, and you will be shocked. It's literally like a war zone. The place is flattened. It's horrible, and so we wish everyone there the best in recovery. And as I mentioned the other night on my coverage of the fires, I think there's going to be a very high, shockingly high body count. It's being underreported strategically for a reason, obviously. But I really do think that there's going to be a great loss of life in all of this, and that's way more important and unfortunate than the loss of material and homes, which is bad enough in and of itself. So, with that being said, I want to greet all of you and welcome you to Friday night. Delphi with Alex Voorhees from the Inferno. We're going to be covering several things tonight before we bring Alex on. So that's an interesting thing that we haven't talked about yet. Um, but before we get too far into it, I want to say hello to everyone who's here. So give me a moment. There's a lot of you, so I am going to try my best here. All right. We've already got a big chat, so I want to thank everyone who's here. If you're in the Lurker crew, go ahead and join the chat. Okay, that would be nice to see. Everyone join the chat. We would love it to hear from you. Um, and if you're on the small channel, be aware there's a large channel. If you're on the large channel, be aware there's a small channel. So please subscribe to both channels. There's no reason I should have double the subs here on the big channel than on the small channel. So let's have the equal number of subs. Everyone subscribe to both channels. All right. So let's see who we got here. Haunted Parlor. Uh, what's up, Miss Haunted Parlor? And Amy is here. What's up, Amy? Jenny 33. It's a new day. Donnie Pitbull Koontz. KO. Um, it's a new day. Oh, I already said that. Barbara Borman. Marianne. L'Oreal. JT. Court of Public Opinion. Heather Brown. Jay Lynn. Plain Iron. Julia Smith. Nino Dino. Sweet Dude Shibby. Gretchen Allen. Mary Martin. Miss John Snow. Valencia's mom. Mark Ellis. Julia Smith, corner piece. Pardon me. I'm trying to get caffeinated up, okay? I'm trying to get caffeinated up before we get too far. We got JT. Did I already say that? Monday. We got Fabi Lash, uh, Deb H5U, Missouri Mima of 9, Mandy, Pam Sheehan, Kate U. It's hard to know who I've already greeted. Jalen, hello. And Monday, who else we got in here? So many of you. Weird Alex V. He says, I'm in this bitch. There he is. Um, I'm this bitch. All right. So digital. We got Rebecca Ann, 1965. Mar R. We got 5 Green Acres. We got Andre here. What up, Andre? Nancy Drew 101. TJ Bits. Right. We got Ninja Warrior Assassin. Moonbeam 70s Child. Tracy Thornton. Oleg Cat. We got 43 Goblin. Marcy McQuarrin. We got Heavy Metal Rehab. All right. Dawn Steele. Everybody's up in here. Jeremiah Grady. All right. Want to thank all of you for being here. Curious Chickpea up in the house. Who's your daddy? 11. Mama J. Everybody awesome up in here. Jenny 33. Shit. So many. Sweet and Salty. I don't know who else is here. Just so many people. Possum Friend. All right. Laura, Naran, Noe Amos, Bobby Smith, MSW 88. We got Sherlock Romes, Chester 22, Augie. All right. We got so many. Do I need to keep going? Can we just say hello to everybody and move on? KQ. We got Clarice. All right. Teresa F. Chevy Killer 306. What up, Chevy Killer? Teresa F. All right. We got BBM. I'm glad you didn't say BBL. Pert in it. Peaches 81. All right. Who else we got up in here? Mino Dino, Miss K. All right. Everybody, right? What up? What up? All right. What's right with you? What's right? Welcome everyone. Damn. So I got a few things to cover before we get on Alex the Voorhees up in the house. I don't even have the slideshow all the way together. It's just a total shit show here. So that's what it is. So welcome. Welcome to the disaster zone. Yeah, we all here. We all here. That's what Heather Brown says. We all here. Teresa F. Band Via. What up? All right. So, Sluty Gosi, you coming in late. All right. Welcome, everyone. All right. Welcome, everyone. So, I got some reading for you. Fuck putting this up on the screen. I don't have time for all of that, right? We don't have time for all of that. But I got some things to relay to you that are pretty interesting. And we'll start off like that. Okay. That's how we'll start. Before we get too far along, let me say, hit that like button, damn. Hit that damn likes up, please. That thumbs up, likes up. All right. So we got here. Delphi police chief resigns amid scrutiny over traffic stop trial testimony. All right. We got Delphi police chief Nate Lamar resigned Thursday night. That's last night days after Carroll County judge said in a ruling that he was dishonest and misleading. Oh, really? Really? You don't say. Law enforcement never lies. They never lie in court. They never perjure themselves. They never do anything wrong. Not law enforcement, especially not in Carroll County, Indiana. Not in White County or any. Come on now. Judge said he was dishonest and misleading under oath while defending a warrantless fucking vehicle search during a drug arrest just over a year ago. In a statement shared with 13 News, Delphi Mayor Cameron Yates said he accepted Lamar's resignation and has discussed temporary assignments with the police officers. Yates said he will immediately begin searching for a new chief of police and will work closely with the officers and city council members to evaluate the direction of the search for a new chief of police in Delphi, Indiana. In an order dated January 3rd, Carroll Circuit Court Special Judge Troy M. Hawkins explained his reasonings in finding a man not guilty of dealing meth and possession of meth. Hey, and look, we're not in favor of the dealing and possessing of meth here, okay? According to the order, I'm sorry about that. This man had been in custody since his arrest following a traffic stop in January and found guilty after a bench trial began in late September. So keep in mind, this is a year. All right, can I back it up for you? The man had been in custody since January of 2024 and was found guilty after a bench trial that began in September 2024. So he's a fucking year of his life, okay? According to the order, the man was pulled over by Lamar as he pulled into a parking spot at a gas station in downtown Delphi on January 3rd, 2024, more than a year ago. Lamar indicated the reason for the traffic stop was that the license plate light the license plate light was blue instead of emitting a white light. The man provided ID but couldn't provide proof of insurance. Lamar noticed a black container in the car and inspected it before commenting to an approaching officer that he had approached the man's car on the passenger side due to the man's looks and behavior. Lamar ran the man's record and discovered a lengthy criminal history which included drug charges. He then ordered an officer to pull the man out of the car and called for a K-9 to come to the scene. He heard on body cam video. He is heard on body cam video saying to another officer, "I can take the vehicle, but I'll give him a chance." After talking with an officer about the black container, Lamar's body cam audio is silenced. Did you miss that? Did you miss that? His body cam audio is silenced by him for 5 minutes until he gets out of the car. Lamar returns to the man's car and discusses what comes next, telling him he was lucky he wasn't going to jail because of a disagreement between the chief and prosecutor about how to charge certain offenses. Lamar tells the man he can wait inside the gas station and then begin searching his car, quickly finding the container and a key, opening it to find 6.7 grams of meth before ordering officers to arrest the man. Now, keep in mind, 6.7 grams, not pounds. 6.7 grams, not pounds, not ounces. On his body cam video, Lamar is later heard proclaiming his delight about seizing contraband. The judge writes, Lamar says, "We will take it whatever way we can, and some meth on inventory night." During the man's trial, that started on September 30th, 2024, Lamar testified he stopped the man's car due to a blue license plate light and suspicious driving behavior, the judge said in the order. Lamar said the police department has a policy allowing cars to be impounded and inventoried once they are. You see, that's the loophole there. He also stated he chooses to impound almost every time, and he believes it's in the public interest to impound if an unlicensed driver or uninsured car is on the road. Lamar also testified that he decided to tow the car based on his community caretaking function because it's about power to you. The judge wrote this was not on suspicion of contraband. But the special judge also wrote Lamar's testimony left him firmly convinced that this inventory search was nothing more than a pretext to search the vehicle for contraband. The judge wrote Lamar's answers to questions about the color of a photograph in the trial appeared to be evasive and dishonest. Lamar said no, sir, when asked by the state if he had a hunch drugs were in the car. But the judge wrote the body camera fucking video and audio prove that to be untruthful and a false statement. The judge noted Lamar called for a K9 officer to sniff around the car and noted to another officer the man's looks and behavior. Lamar, when asked, said he didn't have enough to get a warrant to search the vehicle, yet proceeded to subvert the requirement by searching the vehicle under the guise of an inventory search subject to impound based on a community caretaking function. This is called abuse of power. The judge noted. The judge wrote that the man's car was not abandoned, blocking traffic, or inviting thieves or vandals, writing, quote, it did not possess or pose a threat of harm to the community, close quotation. The judge wrote that Lamar's policy to tow cars, quote, almost every time, close quotation, is unreasonable, and that Lamar's testimony under oath was, quote, dishonest and misleading, proven by his own body camera footage, supporting nothing short of his pretext to subvert the protections provided by the United States and Indiana constitutions and execute warrantless search of the man's vehicle, close quotation. The judge found the car's impound was, quote, unreasonable and improper, close quotation, and the meth found is thus inadmissible. Can't get back the guy's fucking year of his life, though. The judge found the man not guilty of dealing in meth and possession of meth and found him guilty of operating without financial responsibility, no valid driver's license, and improper tail or plate light. The man was ordered to be released immediately. Okay? So, I can tell you this. There's plenty of sources for this story on the internet if you go searching around. Okay? So here's what I'll say. Let me do my commentary and not look at the screen or at the article. Well, Prof, so you're so against meth, Prof. Why would you be elated over this? I'll tell you why. Because there's something more important. Now, Prof, that would be petty, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. But let's talk about that. Here's the actual deal. Do I think that all meth should be wiped out of the streets of Delphi, Indiana? Yes, obviously. Do I think the community would be safer with all the methamphetamine wiped out? Yes. I mean, it's probably the reason these girls in Delphi are dead. So, of course. Am I supporting the fact that this individual was in possession of 6 grams of meth. No, no. And I'd rather if he was not. Do I think it's a big deal that the cop decided to get this meth, that he figured it was there, he was going to get it regardless? No. Well, what am I making a big fuss about? Well, I'll tell you what. You see, this chief of police in Delphi, he's exhibiting the symptoms or the signs that a lot of this law enforcement in Indiana is exhibiting, which is abuse of power. Someone drunk with power, someone who doesn't have a bunch of ethics overall when it comes to telling the truth, protecting and serving your community, not perjuring yourself, basically being honorable. You see, what's more important here in this situation? Is it the 6.3 grams of meth that the meth head possessed? Or is it the fact that this power drunk police chief decided he was going to do whatever he could by going through these loopholes to grab that meth, then going to court and lying about it, muting the body cam, destruction of evidence sounds familiar? Okay, hiding evidence, muting the body cam, getting into court, lying about the things that transpired. Yeah. So what's more important? The fact that we don't want law enforcement doing this to anyone, or the fact that those 6 grams of meth that guy probably was going to go smoke on his own that night was taken off the streets? You see, this is where we run into a constitutional crisis. This is a crisis. And this is my opinion here, that this man, so let's get back to it, okay? Let's get back to it. It says, judge said that Delphi Police Chief Nate Lamar was dishonest and misleading under oath while defending a warrantless vehicle search. Well, that pretty much sums it up. That pretty much sums it up. You're lying, dishonest, and misleading while defending a warrantless search. In violation of both the United States and Indiana constitutions. And therein lies the problem. And when are you guys going to understand that people are going to start standing up for their constitutional rights? How would I like to say it? No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, does it make sense to you out there? The people of the United States are going to start standing up for their constitutional rights. No ifs, ands, or buts. And the judges are going to come and support us behind that. As I mentioned, I was very happy this week by hearing from these attorneys because they are doing the same thing. They are doing the same thing. They are standing up for Richard Allen's constitutional rights, no ifs, ands, or buts. The abuse of power has to stop. Abuse of power has to stop. And I've said it so many times, even when it comes to Richard Allen, I don't know whether or not he had anything to do with this crime in one way or the other. But looking at this entire situation, one thing is absolutely certain, it's very clear that his constitutional rights were trampled over in so many ways, not just one way. You've heard Mr. Baldwin speaking about the video camera in his face when he's trying to talk to his wife and attorneys. Where is attorney-client privilege? Confidentiality. What are the rights of a pretrial detainee to not be tortured, Guantanamo Bay style? You see, when I first came on this case and I started criticizing what I was seeing here, all the fucking trolls came full force right directly at me saying, blah, 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 Indiana, blah, 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 Indiana, defending this shit. Because they would not, did not want to admit that there is a problem. There seems to be a problem here in Indiana. And I reinforced that last night on my show. I said, there is a problem in Indiana. It's very clear. Rick Snate did a show on his show this morning. He talked a little bit about that you know, it sort of makes sense. If you start to think about it, if you track this back, this bloodlust, this power lust, these white nationalists, power drunk people have been in power. Going all the way back. They want to maintain that power and have to this very day. And they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. See, they already know it, but they don't want you seeing it and realizing it. The Indiana State Police does not want you understanding what they have been doing. The Delphi Police Department don't want you understanding what they have been doing, what they have always done. Oh, yeah. This is nothing new. The most startling aspect of all this is they've done it in your face, out loud. Remember, I've said before, we watched it all happen. We watched it all happen. We watched them take Richard Allen. We watched them put him into Westville in solitary, guarded by Odinists or white nationalists, white supremacist nationalists, abused, tortured, threatened, medicated, manipulated. Not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks, not just a month, not 2 months, more than a year. They push him to the breaking point. Even his body weight tanked. It wasn't just mental, it was physical. He almost died. you would suspect that they want him to die now, because they're assuming he dies, their problems go away. They've done it boldly and in your face. They didn't care what it looked like. Just like our judge did not care what it looked like. Just like Jerry Holeman and Steve Mullen did not care what it looked like when they sat on the stands and said what they said. Just like Doug Carter and Nick McClellan did not care what it looked like when they did that press conference after sentencing. Just like Brad Holder, Pat Westfall, and all the others didn't care what it looked like when they were posting all their shit on Facebook. Robinson and Jones and the whole contingent. They've never cared what it looks like because they want you to see their power. Yeah, they do. They do. Kind of fucking shit is this, right? We're in 2025. Okay, 2025. We're living in the dark ages here. This is like 1925 Indiana. But you see, the dam has cracked. The dam has cracked because you got people like this guy. Let's get his name right. Okay. Sorry, because I don't have all this shit like ingrained into my brain. You have people like Judge Troy M. Hawkins. Okay. So what I think all of you motherfuckers should do, all of you out there, you guys should get off your ass and write Judge Hawkins a really nice letter. Judge Troy M. Hawkins. You should write him a really nice fucking email or letter or whatever and say, Judge Hawkins, we applaud you. That was amazing how you held him accountable for his abuse of power. And thank you, Judge Hawkins. I'd like to see all of you do that. I'd love it if you flooded him with 1,000 letters, emails, so that he knows how much the people appreciate him holding the chief of police of Delphi responsible for his abuse of power. That's amazing. That's really commendable. So I applaud him, Judge Hawkins. And let it be a lesson. Don't do it again. The lesson for Mr. Nate Lamar, don't ever do it again. Don't ever do it again. Knock it off. Be humble. Sit down. You understand what I'm getting at? Pardon me. So on that note, we're going to look at some things tonight that should be informative to you, possibly. I'm not sure. Pardon me. Okay, so this is a lot, right? This is a lot. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. This is going to be a long show, so you guys buckle up. Let's see. So first thing I'm going to do, we have a lot to get through here. Let's see. Okay. I have to get these slides pulled up. It's just the way that it is. Okay, so first things first. Let's see. We're dealing with. It's called. Okay, this is called. Oh, let me read it. I see my vision is so not perfect that I got to deal with like reading close up because I can't handle reading the screen. All right. This says list of additional witnesses and exhibits for contempt hearing. Comes now, attorneys Baldwin and Rozzi notifies the state and the court that in addition to all the witnesses and exhibits previously disclosed, he may call the following witnesses and offer the described exhibits. And this is from March 7th, 2024. It says witnesses Stephen Wood, Angela Sadlowski, Julie Melvin, Terry Williams, Courtney Parsons, and Matt Hoffman. Exhibits 1, communications between Gary Bodette, a.k.a. Fig, a.k.a. Fig Solve, and Prosecutor McClelland. Communications from Bodette about Prosecutor McClelland. Anthony Greeno's YouTube episode entitled Crime Nation Delphi Murders Watch and Review. Rick Snay on True Crime Investigates. Baldwin email to McClelland regarding Professor Turco report. Bodette's communications with Angela Sadlowski. Bodette's YouTube episode regarding Delphi investigation. Bodette's communication regarding court staff revelations. Bodette's communication regarding disqualification of defense counsel. Documentation of the relationship between Bodette, Fortson, and Cohen. Bodette sending defense work product to McClelland. Bodette sending information to McClelland. Bodette identifying source in Delphi investigation. Bodette posting regarding sending information to McClelland. Bodette posting regarding digging dirt on Baldwin. Bodette posting regarding working with law enforcement and prosecution. Bodette email of McClelland asking Bodette to delete everything. Barbara McDonald on Court TV with leaked investigation information. McClelland email to defense regarding Professor Turco report. Leaked search warrant affidavit prior to unsealing. Sergeant Holeman communications with Terry Williams and our secret keeper. YouTubers Frank Meister and Sleuth video. YouTube, the Inquisitor True Crime, claiming leaked communications from Rick Allen. Terry Williams posting about inside information of crime scene and of the investigation. October 22nd, 2022, YouTube video of Bodette discussing his knowledge of a bullet at the crime scene and knowledge that a gun was found at Rick Allen's house when that information was still under seal a week before being unsealed. Email exchange between Judge Gull and Attorney Rozzi regarding accidentally misdirected email. Baldwin email to Judge Gull, 10/9/23. List of media dissemination by state actors. Julie Melvin documents and YouTube video titled A Reckoning in Carroll County, potential exhibits. On or about February 29, 2024 and March 1st, 2024, the defense received an anonymous call from a woman in Texas claiming to have approximately 240 pages of leaked documents and agreed to provide them. The defense has received only a few of those documents, all of which appear to be available to the public. The defense also discovered information from the prof, claiming that he had delivered 2 pounds of documents to the Indiana Attorney General. The defense is continuing to investigate that claim, which may result in additional exhibits. Respectfully submitted, David Hennessy. All right. Are you smelling this yet? Are you sniffing this out? Don't worry. It's just a road I have to lead you down. Okay, here we go. Memorandum concerning contempt proceedings. Undersigned counsel incorporates herein, or by reference, as if fully set out, Professor Osbrook's pleading titled Defendant Counsel's Motion for Summary Denial of State's Verified Information for Contemptuous Conduct. The gag order was issued on December 2nd, 2022, and states explicitly that it was issued in response to the defense press release from December 1, 2022. Thus, the press release could not have violated an order issued the next day. To the extent that the press may have violated a rule of professional conduct, press release, trial courts are without jurisdiction to enforce those rules or determine attorney misconduct. Okay. I'm going to skip ahead because you don't need all the legalese here, but here we go. Accidentally misdirected email. Attorneys Baldwin and Rozzi have fully explained how this happened. It clearly was not knowing, intentional, or willful. The law regarding indirect contempt just as clearly requires willful contempt. Accidental misdirection is a common occurrence for anyone that uses emails daily. See affidavits previously filed. The prosecutor in this case acknowledges the possibility of an accidentally misdirected email at the bottom of his emails. Most, if not all, users that experience such follow-up requesting that it be deleted after learning it was sent to an unintended recipient. Additionally, the only thing related to this case that was sent was a defense-created outline organizing discovery. It describes a discovery, but not the contents of any discovery. To the extent it contained the first names of the victims, it was intended for internal use only. Furthermore, their names were used publicly by agents of the state from day one and incessantly afterwards. Contrary to the prosecutor's allegation, the accidentally misdirected email did not violate this court's gag order. That order specifically applied to means of public communication. The email at issue was private and sent to a single individual. Attorneys Baldwin and Rozzi had no reason to suspect further dissemination by the unintended recipient. Yeah, and you guys got to understand, like, see, have you all ever thought of who Woodhouse was talking to? And if that did happen, they certainly had no prior knowledge of it and did not condone it. I'll give you a hint. It was Troll Farm, okay? Woodhouse was talking to Troll Farm, He spread it to Troll Farm at the request of Troll Farm. Candor towards the tribunal. Mr. McClelland has shared that it is his position that Mr. Baldwin was somehow required to voluntarily and immediately report the accidentally misdirected email to him in the court. He has not provided any authority for such a requirement, and the defense can find none. No such requirement is contained in Rule 3.3 of the Indiana Rules of Professional Conduct. The rule prohibits making a false statement or failing to correct a false statement. Mr. Baldwin did neither. That rule also prohibits the failure to disclose legal authority known to be adverse to the position of the client. Mr. Baldwin has not done that. Lastly, the rule prohibits a lawyer from offering evidence known to be false. Mr. Baldwin has not done that. The commentary to the rule makes it clear that a lawyer has no duty to report such information, but only to ensure that the tribunal not be misled. Consequently, although a lawyer in an adversary position is not required to present an impartial exposition of the law or vouch for the evidence submitted in the cause, the lawyer must not allow the tribunal to be misled by false statements of law or fact or evidence that the lawyer knows to be false. Mr. Baldwin was forthright and complete in his communications with the court about the email sent to the unintended recipient. It is also clear from the body of the email that it was addressed to Brad, not Brendan. Mr. Baldwin has not violated the rule, so it cannot constitute contemptuous conduct. The leak complained of cannot be laid at the feet of the defense counsel. It is beyond cavil that they did not provide any part of discovery by photographs or otherwise to anyone outside of the defense team, nor did they knowingly or intentionally allow anyone access to discovery materials. Mr. Holeman refers to Mr. Baldwin as the victim in his report of his investigation of the Westerman leak. Detective Rector swore in an affidavit for the prosecution of Mr. Westerman that Westerman photographed discovery items without permission or authority. This is just victim blaming by the prosecution because it does not like the victim. Furthermore, there was nothing in the dissemination by Westerman that would not eventually become public. It is impossible to tell exactly what information on the internet came from where. Yes, the leaks have been prevalent and consistent from the outset. Oh, how perceptive. With regard to the Westerman leak, it is not known how many pictures he took of what. There have been a variety of descriptions as to just what he sent to Fortson. The first leak about the case came from the search team shortly after the murders, according to the sworn testimony of Jerry Holeman. Let's repeat that for all of you back there who still believe lies. The first leak about the case came from the search team shortly after the murders, according to sworn testimony of Jerry Holeman. The next came from Mr. Holeman himself, according to Terry Williams. The leaks escalated after the arrest of a suspect. There were 2 probable cause affidavits leaked before they were publicly available. There was a leak of information about a bullet at the scene and a gun at Mr. Allen's house. Gary Bodette, aka Fig Solves, published these leaks on November 22nd, 2022. He claimed his source was an employee of Judge Gull. Yeah. Read it and weep. Bodette references this video in a Discord chat session on April 2nd, 2023, as proof that his source, quote, works for the judge, close quotation, and that he had the Richard Allen probable cause affidavit a week before the document was unsealed and made public. He said he knew the defense attorneys would be disqualified a week before they were, and that it, quote, was a win, close quotation. There were leaks before attorneys Baldwin and Rozzi were even appointed. On May 17th, 2023, Fox 50 reported on facts contained in a probable cause affidavit for the search of Ron Logan's residence filed March 17th, 2017. Defense counsel had no access to that document. Only law enforcement and court staff did. Yeah, who'd they leak it to? On September 29, 2022, an email was sent from Tony Liggett to Debbie Lowe of the Carroll County Comet concerning special prosecutor investigation into Hatch Act violations. This final decision was under seal, and the case is still currently either blocked or sealed from public view. On Gary Bodette, Big Solve's live show about Richard Allen's arrest, he mentions that there will be evidence involving a bullet or a casing as part of the probable cause. Bodette references this video in a Discord chat session on April 2nd, 2023, as proof that his source, quote, works for the judge, close quotation, and that he had the Richard Allen PCA a week before the document was utilized. On November 22nd, 2022, Gary Bodette, aka Fig Solves, who had communications with the prosecutor during a live show about Richard Allen's arrest, mentioned that there will be evidence involving a bullet or a casing as part of the probable cause. Bodette references this video in a Discord chat session on April 2nd, 2023, as proof that his source works for the judge or works with the judge, and that he had the Richard Allen probable cause affidavit a week before the document was unsealed and made public. Attorneys Baldwin and Rozzi were not even appointed yet. Barbara McDonald had a stick drawing, a photograph of the tree, and Professor Turco's report that could not have come from or be connected to the defense. Neither the Indiana State Police nor the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office have investigated these unrelated leaks. They've only steadfastly targeted the defense counsel. Any finding of contempt will be contrary to the facts and law, and it will surely be reversed on appeal. All right. Are you guys following yet? Are we following yet? All right. So there's more. Because it's been nothing but lies. It's been all lies. And it's time for the lies to be definitively put to bed. Okay? Ended. Let's see where we are here. It's loading. Well, hopefully it loads. I don't know what the holdup here is. I can just read without you having to see the document. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at this. let's look at this. It's going to be page 40. So pardon me. Okay, direct examination of Jerry Holeman. All right, so let's see, where are we? What happened in the beginning of October 2023? I received a phone call from you, Mr. McClelland, stating that you had received information from Becky Patty, who is the grandmother and legal guardian of Liberty German, that the crime scene photos are being leaked. And once you were told of that information, what did you do next? I started inquiring on what type of photos were leaked and tried to find out where they were being leaked from. And what did you first do to go about finding out that information? Well, I received a call from Murder Shits, who said they had also received the photos, and they described those photos to me over the phone. When those photos were described to you, were you familiar with the photos they were talking about? Yes, I was. How were you familiar with those photos? One of the descriptions of the photos was one that Mr. Bowen and Mr. Rossi showed me in my deposition. And why was it unique enough that you could tell a photo from a description? It was a side-by-side that I'd never seen before the day it was created, obviously by the defense attorneys. And I recall seeing it that day, and that's the only time I ever saw that photo. And so from the description from those individuals you talked to, you recognize the photo was something the defense had created? Yes. What did you do next? I believe I called you back to let you know that there was more than just what Becky Patty had told you. And from there, where did the investigation lead you? I talked to, again, Murder Shits, who said they knew who sent them the photos. And who sent them the photos? Mr. Cohen. And did you speak to Mr. Cohen? Later, I did. But before that, I got information from Murder Shits. And when you spoke to Murder Shits, did you get documents from them? Yes. What documents did you get from them? They gave me several documents that were screenshots they received from Mr. Cohen with communication from Mr. Fortson. Okay, did you receive any pictures from them? Yes. And what pictures did you receive from them? The pictures that they stated that Mr. Cohen sent them. And when you got the pictures from them, did you recognize the photos? Yes, I did. And I don't want you to go into detail, but what were the photos of? Some of them were of the crime scene that, again, I knew had come from the defense attorney, but because of one of them was of Liberty and her private parts were blacked out, and they used a circle. And in all the ones that we ever use for any type of reason, we used rectangles. I'm going to show you what's marked as this exhibit number 5. Can you look at those documents, please? Can you tell the court as a group what those documents are? Photos I received from Murder Shits. And what do the photos show? Crime scene photos. Some of them are pictures of drawings of the crime scene. And do you recognize those photos? Yes, I do. And how do you recognize those photos? Again, they're crime scene photos and also photos that were presented to me in my deposition. Judge, I'm going to ask the court to admit what's been marked as State's Exhibit 5 under seal. Crime scene photos. Okay, good. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we're gonna jump ahead here. Now, Mr. Holeman, if you recall, were those all the photos that you received from murder shits? No. Okay, those are just a portion of those? Yes. And again, the one specifically of the crime scene depicting Liberty, was that something that law enforcement created? No. And how did you know? Like I said earlier, we use rectangles to block out private parts. And the one had a rectangle and a circle, so I knew it was not produced by any of us. When you saw that photo, did you recognize it though? Yes. Where did you recognize it from? It was a crime scene photo that was used and taken at the crime scene. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Once you got those photos, once you got the photos and the information from murder shits, what did you do from there? I notified you again of the photos and what my thoughts were. And then I scheduled a time to meet with murder shits and take a statement and receive all of the information that they got from Mr. Cohen. And as part of the information of the documents that you got from them during that interview, did those include screenshots of messages? Yes. And who were the messages between? Mr. Cohen and Mr. Fortson. How did you know they were between Mr. Cohen and Mr. Fortson? Well, I saw pictures, Facebook pictures of Mr. Fortson and Mr. Cohen told me they were. So you were able to identify from the messages Mr. Fortson? Yes. Okay, I'm going to show you this, blah, blah, blah. Those are documents that I received from murder shits. Can you describe what those documents are? Those are screenshots of communications between Mr. Fortson and Mr. Cohen on Facebook. And how do you know that? Because I'm familiar with Facebook and it says Robert Fortson, and then it's also identifying Mr. Cohen. And do those accurately represent the documents you received from murder shits? Yes. Okay, so we're going to admit this, blah, 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 blah. Is Mr. Fortson deceased? Pardon me? Is Mr. fucking Fortson deceased? Yes, he is. Judge, I would object on hearsay. It's impossible for the defense to be able to blah, 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 blah. And McClellan says blah, 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 blah. And then admitted. Okay. So next page. What did you do next in the investigation? After receiving this information, like I said, I did an audio videotape statement of murder shits. And then I contacted Mark Robert Cohen. And did you interview him as well? Yes. And after you interviewed him, what did you do next? After I interviewed Mr. Cohen, I believe I interviewed Rick Snay. And between the interviews of these people, did you have an opportunity to go through documents that were handed over? Yes. And the interviews you conducted with those people, did it match the information that you saw in the documents? Yes, it did. After you talked to Mr. Snay, what did you do next? Who did you interview after Mr. Snay? Kyra DeBruin. And through your investigation, did you continue to gather information on how the photos were leaked? Yes. What was the purpose in interviewing these people? To determine the source? Yes. And once you saw the messages from Mr. Fortson, did you attempt to interview him? Yes, I did. Did you attempt to interview him about the things? Yes. Did he give you any information? No. Did you attempt to subpoena his Facebook records to get a certified copy of those documents? We did. And when you examined his Facebook page, were those messages in there? I did not examine his Facebook messages, but Detective Rector did. Okay. And after you attempted to interview Mr. Fortson, who did you interview next? I attempted to contact Mr. Westerman after I interviewed Mr. Fortson. So the information that you got from the investigation at this point, where did that tell you the leak was coming from? Mr. Westerman. Did you know who Westerman was? No. Okay. So we'll skip ahead. Line 7. And through this process, tell me about your attempts that you made to talk to Fortson directly. I attempted to call one of his numbers that I had for him. Actually had two. The first one said, "This is Robert Fortson. Please leave a message." I left him a message identifying myself as with the state police and that I needed to talk to him about some information that came up in the investigation. Then I had another number. I didn't know at the time, but it was his father, Bob Fortson. And I spoke with Mr. Bob Fortson, and he said he worked at the Air Force Base, and he was probably up there, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Skip ahead. That takes us to October 12th, 2023. What did you find out on October 12th of 2023? I received a phone call from a sergeant with the Fishers PD that Mr. Fortson had committed suicide. And were you able to gather any other information about the facts surrounding his self-deletion? Fishers PD said that it was an obvious self-deletion, and that during the conversation with his wife, he was upset because of the photos that he leaked, and that he wished he would have just been honest. Did you conduct any other investigation into his self-deletion? No. So then there's a whole bunch of lies, okay? Let's skip to page 55. Were you able to determine from that conversation, was there a one-time leak of photos or an ongoing leak? No answer. Okay. Now, let's skip ahead. We're going to go to page 61. Okay, here. Did you tell Mr. Fortson that he could be held in contempt of court and charged with obstruction of justice? Yes. Did you tell him you could get the judge on the phone immediately? No. You didn't say, "Let me call the judge real quick"? I did say I was going to call the judge, yes. And you said, quote, "I'm going to call the judge, let her know, and see if she wants to issue that order for contempt." Correct? Close quotation. Yes, sir. Then you went out of the room. I did. Did you call the judge? I did not. So why did you tell Mr. Fortson you could call the judge? So I'm in a military. So I have a chain of command. I was brought up that way. I called the prosecutor first. I've never done a contempt. So I thought I was going to have to give the information directly to the judge because she ordered it. I talked to the prosecutor and he said that he would forward that information. What did you give Mr. Fortson? Why did you give Mr. Fortson the impression that you had the ability, the judge's phone number, and you could call her immediately? I don't believe I did. Well, when you said, quote, "Let me call the judge real quick," close quotation, what impression do you think a person would have? I said I was going to go call the judge, yes. So what do you think a person's impression of that would be? Objection, objection, objection. Of course, sustained. You told Robert Fortson that you had gotten information from Mark Robert. Yes, who you later learned was Mark Robert Cohen. That is correct. And a K. Smith. I believe I said K. Smith or Kyra, which I was confused because both those names came up. So I wasn't sure if it was the same person or if it was a different person. But later I identified the person to actually be before that, but I forgot the person was Kyra DeBruin. So you believe there's a K. Smith that exists? If there is, there probably is, but I don't know her. I've never spoken with her. Okay, I want to go back to my question. Why did you threaten jail? Okay. And on page 14, the question was, didn't you indicate to him that he could go to jail over this? I did. Okay. I did indicate that. I said there's a possibility that the judge could order a contempt, is what I said in my interview. So, yeah, you told him, quote, you can go to jail over this, close quotation. I did not threaten him, says Jerry. I told him there's a possibility. Bullshit. Bullshit. All right. Would you admit that some people might take that as a threat? Objection, objection. Sustained, naturally. Do you recall Mr. Fortson telling you that he wanted to have a consultation with an attorney before he talked to you? He did. And at first, he just simply said consultation? No, he said he thought he needed to talk to somebody. Right. And then later, he specified attorney. Yes. And you kept talking to him? I did not ask him questions, but I was explaining to him what I was there for. But I didn't ask questions until after I talked to the prosecutor. And then you asked questions? I asked him, I think, one question, and that was, is he not willing to, maybe a few, I don't know, I'd have to look. Yeah, but I asked him if he was willing to give up information that I knew he had, and he said, not without a lawyer. And I said, that's fine. But he had invoked counsel before then. Absolutely. And you took a recorded statement from Miss Einfeld. I did. And she had some pictures. She had pictures on her phone. Yeah. Did you see them? I did. Did you connect them to any of the other pictures? Yeah. Which ones? I don't recall exactly which ones, but it should be in my report that once they were released by Mr. Fortson to Mr. Cohen, and I had her delete them. But she told you she got them from Tyler Carpenter. Yes. And who is he? I don't know. You could never find him? No. What effort did you make? What's that? What effort did you make to find the source of the photos, Tyler Carpenter? At that time, I talked to the prosecutor, and at that time, we weren't interested in all the people that had them because we already located the source where they came from. If there was only one source, correct? To my knowledge, yes, there was only one source, but that's your belief. Through my investigation, I've only located one source. All right. Yeah. But so what you had at that point was your belief that Westerman obtained those pictures without permission and that he gave them to only one person, Mr. Fortson. Yes. And that Mr. Fortson gave them to Mr. Cohen and Mrs. De Bruin. So you had no interest in knowing who else had them? Or where Miss Einfeld grabbed them? Where Mr. Carpenter got them? We had a lot of people that had them, and at that point, nobody was releasing them. So we got the word out. There could be potential consequences if they did release them. So after speaking to the prosecutor, well, in all their interviews, you told them that the judge was adamant that you find the photos, get them, or delete them. Have them deleted, yes. And every person that you did talk to that you identified in the chain, you talked to them about contempt? Yes. So from that, you learned that a Tyler Carpenter allegedly had them. You just admitted that Miss Einfeld told you that she got them from a Tyler Carpenter. Yes, Carpenter. So what was the confusion? I thought you said Kyra Carpenter. It was Kyra De Bruin. And you were charged with getting these photos, but you didn't locate or attempt to locate Tyler, who allegedly had them because, you'd already found out who you believe the source was, correct? Yes. And you made that decision in conjunction with Mr. McClellan? What's that again? Why are you being confused, dumbass? Look, Miss Felt told you about a screenshot somehow connected to a George Nye, who was a former law enforcement. Do you recall that? It was a separate investigation, but yes. And what was that investigation? That investigation, the information she was giving me was not related to the leaks. What investigation was it related to? Harassment, harassment, harassment. And then she told you she had sent them to Christina Mack. Yes, the photos. And so did you go talk to Christina Mack? No. So she might still have those photos. She hasn't released them, so she has not released them. If she does, well, you haven't seen that she's released them. Correct. So you don't know how many people she may have sent them to. That's correct. Same with Tyler Carpenter. He might still have them. Yes, sir. So how many total photos do you believe Westerman took? I don't recall exactly. There were some that looked like they were downloaded from another Facebook page. I'd have to look at the photos to give you a number. Would you say about a download? There were some downloaded from somebody's Facebook page. By Westerman? I don't know. They were just sent to Mr. Fortson. Okay, I'm sorry. They were sent from Mr. Fortson to Mr. Cohen. I don't know who. Oh, so Mr. Fortson maybe downloaded other pictures from Facebook? Could have, yes. And did Mr. Fortson, to your knowledge, have other sources for photographs and information on the investigation? To my knowledge, no. So in his conversation with Mr. Cohen, he doesn't talk about other people? Yes. Did he ever mention Mr. Westerman? Just Mr. Baldwin. He mentioned Mr. Baldwin. Fortson? Yes. Mentioned Baldwin? Yes. In what respect? In the screenshots of the text messages between them two, he said, Mr. Baldwin told me I was going up to Allen County. Mr. Baldwin told me this. Mr. Baldwin told me that the crime scene was going to be. You're saying Mr. Fortson claimed that Mr. Baldwin had direct conversations with him? That's what he was alluding to, yes. You ever corroborate that? I tried to. With what? Phone records? No, I tried to interview Mr. Fortson and Mr. Westerman. Right, and you didn't. You had Detective Rector interview Mr. Baldwin. What? You had Detective Rector interview Mr. Baldwin. Yes, I did. For 2 hours. I don't know. I wasn't there. You mean you haven't looked at it? No. And did you say, hey, ask him about the contact with Mr. Fortson? I don't believe I told Mr. or Detective Rector how to conduct his interview. So let me stop. Okay, let me stop. Because this is getting insane, isn't it? I know you guys don't give a fuck about what I'm saying. I see there's some side conversation in the chat. Do you get what I'm putting across here? I hope so. I hope you're hearing it. I know we all know how to multitask. Now, let's see. All right. Sorry, it's taking a little time, but it's coming. It's coming. All right. What is this? What is this? What type of stuff are we looking at here? You see, this is called leaks. I'll just let you look at these for a minute, let it sink in, because I know there's a huge side conversation. And I'm sorry, guys. I know there's things going on, but that's not what we're talking about at the moment. And I know it's important. I know it's important. Don't get me wrong. Now, what is this shit, though? What is this? Pardon me. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. Let's see. I want to select these two. Oh shit! Come on, man. Select one, two. All right. So you see what I'm showing you. All right. Now there's more. Where's the next one? And you guys stop being nervous. Don't worry. Alex is coming. Just relax. Okay. Now here, what we have here is we have, these are text messages between Fig and Skip. Read them. Read them. Judge is releasing some documents, a considerable amount next week per my source. Who is this? A person who works for Judge Gull. Oh, really? Remember, person who works for Judge Gull, Jody Williams. Also, my source says, whenever I say source, I'm talking about this person. She has seen all the documents. The person who works for Judge Gull. She says Richard is guilty as sin. She's 100% sure. She wants harsh punishment to happen to him. She was saying how she hopes Judge Gull keeps him in Westville because that's where he belongs. So you see, Jody had become convinced Richard Allen is guilty because she had her eyes on Discovery. So she was feeding it to Fig. You know my source, the one who works for the judge? My source, the one who works for the judge? They said the version of the PCA that was released is version 2.0. The 1.0 was even more embarrassing for Ellie. All right. I'll also ask Nick. I hope my judge source will get access to the documents again. She said she would need approval from the judge to go in and look at the unredacted, and would need a good reason to. And I don't want to get her in trouble just for the name. So hold on. So we're talking about leaks and we're blaming. Okay, remember all the way back to what I was showing you 10 minutes ago. Because you're trying to blame Baldwin and Rozzi for the death of Fortson and for everything that has ever happened here. But what you really had going on is you had Jody Williams, which is basically a surrogate for Judge Gull. You had Judge Gull's office. directly feeding Fig Solves, who's directly talking to Nicholas McLeland. Okay? Now, Westerman goes in, takes photos. Okay? Westerman goes in, takes photos. Gives them to Fortson. Fortson gives them to Cohen. Cohen gives them to everybody. Everybody. Who's blamed? Well, goes on back on up. Not Westerman, but Baldwin. But as we just read, okay, remember we were reading this. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, the prior leaks. Okay, remember we were reading the prior leaks. Barbara McDonald. Let's look at the last. Let's go backwards. Barbara McDonald had shit, right? What's this one? Tony Liggett. Was leaking to Debbie Lowe. Fig Solves, who was getting from Jody Williams, right? You had Fox 50. You had Murder Sheet. So let me ask you, what's a pattern here? Okay, what's a pattern? Because there's more. Hold on. There's more. I got one more. There's a pattern here. And you guys who've been here a long time, you know that I like using this term, troll farm. Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm going to say some names to you. Frank Meister, Murder Sheet, Fig Solves. Oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. Did I just? Oh yeah. Okay, so here we go. Hold on. Sorry, a little confused. Gray Hughes told me about Fortson in September. Gray Hughes, Fig Solves, Murder Sheet, Frank Meister, Barbara McDonald, Judge Gull's office, Nick McClelland. What does this say? I heard that Fig leaked it to Sleuth. Rick Snay said he got 3 from Mark Roberts, but it was Fig who leaked it. Getting the defense kicked off was another win. So listen. Judge Gull, Jody, Fig getting the defense kicked off was another win. Are you seeing a nexus? Nick asked me to delete everything Getting the defense kicked off was another win. Another win. Nick asked me to delete everything. Other than that, they have what they need now. Getting the defense kicked off was another win. Fig Solves indicates that Richard Allen's confessions included ones to medical and mental health staff. Oh, so we're talking to Monica Walla? How would you know? Okay, so now we have Monica Walla. Well, we know Monica Walla was talking to Gray Hughes as well. The defense is corrupt. The defense is corrupt. Christy says, so just trying to get this straight. Fig was working for prosecution to push the guilty narrative to certain other YouTubers. He received the leaked photos and defense work product connected to Mark Cohen, Mitch Westerman, Robert Fortson, who also helped spread the leak. Then there was the Discord, not in troll form. Obviously, some creators that received these didn't do as ISP asked to and delete them. Now Fig claims he was baiting who? YouTubers? Followers? Nick McClellan? Or all of the above? Now Fig says the defense is trying to silence him. Hey, you play stupid games, you win booby prize. Will there be any legal repercussions? Interesting that this comes out after the depositions of Holeman, Mitch, and others. This is March 9th. Joanna. Who's read the document submitted by Hennessy, list of additional witnesses? That's what we just read. What are your thoughts on Gary Baudet, aka Fig Solves? The level with Fig has inserted himself into this case is shocking and unacceptable. Many YouTubers are sideline commentators. But Gary Baudet, aka Fig Solves, has gone real life and placed himself in McClellan's back pocket, emailing and digging up dirt for Nick McClellan. It's sick. I wouldn't believe this shit if someone had just told me, but it's right there in the legal document. It's infuriating. Gary Baudet, aka Fig Solves, has been in the background like a puppet master with his own agenda, starting and stirring shit. Here's two of his communications with Nick McClellan listed as exhibits by Hennessy. Baudet sending defense work product to McClellan. Baudet posting regarding digging up dirt on Baldwin. Here's one that shows McClellan's true colors. 17, Baudet email of McClellan asking Baudet to delete everything. As far as I'm concerned, Fig and McClellan are little weasels who will stop at nothing to hurt the defense. Did McClellan ever send delete everything requests to law enforcement investigators? If he'd do this with a weasel like Fig Solves, it's not unreasonable to think he'd do it on a bigger scale with things that have far greater consequences. Has McClellan ever requested someone delete all interview audio or delete the information on a professor or delete fill in the blank? Gary Baudet, aka Fig Solves, is Slick Nick Jr. as far as I'm concerned, says Joanna. Yeah, I can't draw attention for the sake of protecting sources and working with law enforcement and Nick McClellan. Plus, I don't want attention or drama. I own my own consulting business and do fine with it. I don't need money, not doing this for money or attention. It's a fight of good versus evil. I've spoken to Nick for months. He asked for my help, so I helped him. I can't remember if I passed this info along to Nick. Getting the defense kicked off was another win. Nick asked me to delete everything. Gray Hughes told me about Fortune in September. Becky has no idea the stuff I was doing behind the scenes, and I don't care. I never told her. I'm not doing it for that. Yeah, there'll be something interesting that will be coming out about Delphi case in the first half of September. Once it comes out, expect me to be a guest on the murder shits. Also, this news will not be that other people are involved. I know reality is often boring, but the truth is the truth. Stay tuned. Post-hearing memorandum, March 25th. Additionally, Sergeant Holeman and Mr. Mullen testified that they were aware that Mr. McClellan was exchanging information with Gary Bodette, the most prodigious leaker of all. I'm going to leave this with one final, okay? Just because this is not really pertinent, other than it just shows you. Remember this? Who remembers this moment? Raise your hand if you know what this is that I've just put up. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a little minute there. What is this that I just put up? I know you can't read it. It's all small. You can zoom in. You pinch your phone. I'll tell you what it says. Copyright strike. Who remembers this? It's a copyright strike. No, no, no. You guys ain't reading it. That's the thing. It's too small. Is it too small? I'll tell you what this is for those of you who can't read. I don't know. I have an iPhone. You can zoom in. I thought most of you can zoom in. Joe Lewis. Okay, Joe Lewis. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. The Joe Lewis. Just to laugh a bit before I see, I'm trying to get the spirit up because I know that was a serious romp through the bullshit. But just to laugh before we get Alex on here, this right here, Joe Lewis was equally infuriated with this whole debacle. Which look, let's be serious, okay? This debacle that we're describing here is the state actors leaking or using the troll farm. These are state actors. By that, I mean McClellan, Holeman, Judge Gold's office, leaking directly to Big Solves, Murder Shits, Mark Cohen. Joe was showing you this, and he decided to share an image from Amazon. Okay, so just like I could do now, I could do a screen share and I could go to Amazon.com and I could show you the book. The book. Joe went to Amazon to show the book as he was ranting about this this situation here. And as he was in the process of showing the book in real time and ranting, this happened. And see, so what it says is, let me read it for you for those who can't. Sorry to be belaboring the point. I'm really not trying to go on and on, but what this says is the video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Gary Baudet. So yeah, so basically he was watching and upset that Joe was talking about the situation, and copyright struck him for sharing the Amazon.com page on the book. He then went the next days after, colluded with someone else. They went, see this troll farm, then went and doxed Joe Lewis in Australia. And see, now what they've managed to do now is they've managed to get him off of YouTube permanently. They've managed to finally, this is about the third time, they've wiped Joe off of YouTube. So what we have is basically, why am I showing you all this shit? Come on, Prop, this is old shit. This is a year ago. Yeah. You know why? Because Jerry Holeman, Doug Carter, Nick McClellan, and the others, they're spreading the narrative that all the problems were caused by Baldwin leaking. Completely ignoring the fact that you had the assistant to the judge I mean, can it get any more inappropriate? I mean, do I need to? I think I do need to put it back because it's pretty fucking disgusting. Let's see. You see what I mean? I mean, dude, this is no joke here. When you have the judge or the judge's office colluding to damage the defense to the extent that you get the defense kicked off of the case, and you're okay with that, right? You get the defense kicked off the case and you are okay with that. You are elated by that because that's a win, right? That's a win, right? That's a win. I think we have to talk about reality, because where are the ethics in here? Where are the ethics? The judge's office colluding with the YouTubers to get the defense kicked off. You don't think that that's inappropriate, that the judge and the prosecutor would be colluding with the YouTubers, leaking to the YouTubers, and the whole effect is to get the defense kicked off? In the meantime, you have a dead guy, right? Now, don't forget, in the meantime, you have a dead guy. He's all the way dead. And the poor guy, he leaves behind a daughter and a wife. See, he's not just like some figment of our imagination, just a name here. This is a father, a brother, a son, a grandpa, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's important, is what I'm getting at. And I started the show by saying I'm excited that our attorneys are finally able to speak. The being the gag is lifted, because they can finally speak, and the people can decide. See, the people can now decide what feels truthful and what doesn't, because all this time you had these people pushing a narrative for Nick McClellan, for Jody Williams, Judge Gull. Getting the defense kicked off was another win. Got a dead guy in the mix. Who gives a fuck? And you had Doug Carter have the audacity to try to point the response and put that on the defense attorneys. They lit Doug Carter. What he did was he just lost all credibility he ever had. The last shred of credibility he had at that post-sentencing press conference, he destroyed it. He flushed it down the toilet. Not only did he say all the other shit that he said, that you should leave, blah, 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 blah. The most disgusting thing he said was, you have dead guy Mr. Fortson, and then he pointed right at Andy Baldwin. And we know that's not the way it went down. And as a matter of fact, that's sort of going to be like, never mind. I'll leave it. I just wanted to share all of that with you. Listen, I hate to tell you this. I've shown all of this before. I hope you understand. I know that there's been so many lives, and I've shown so many receipts and done so many hours. It's hard to know what I've done before, but I promise you, everything that you just saw tonight, I've shown you before. Okay, I've shown you all that before. Sort of a review. Anyway, that's where we are. All right, let's see. Give me a moment. I'm going to get this together with Alex. All right, I'm back. Sorry for that. I needed to get my chocolate and water and invite Alex, and he's here now. So let's welcome it. Everyone. Everyone, please, round of applause. Let's welcome Alex in, y'all. Get your ass in that chat. Get the claps up in the chat.
What's up?
Alex,
Whoa, how you doing?
oh, that's some nice background you got going, man.
I know. I love it. It's some good lighting, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta mix it up, switch it up sometimes.
Well,
So
dude, welcome in. Thanks for coming tonight.
yeah, it's a good night, man. It's a lot of good stuff going on. I'm good to see everybody. Yeah, Chevy, Chick P, Mar, Rebecca, fucking everybody, dude. Hell yeah. Well, things are going good, dude. Um, I can, I could be happier, but I couldn't be any happier. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
It's a
you're in
good
the middle of
time.
Inferno, man. I called the show tonight from the Inferno. You're in the
Oh yeah,
you're in the middle of the fucking Inferno, bro.
dude. My fucking power turned on for the first time in like 3 days, dude. It was fucking crazy. I had to take all my fridge, the food in there to my uncle's because like it was gonna go bad, dude. It's crazy. All the dry ice sold out. People are going nuts, dude. They're going fucking crazy here, dude.
Oh, you had so they killed the power because of the fires.
Yeah, it's cool to kill the power, but I think they have a lot of young workers that don't know what the fuck they're doing, kind of like the airline bullshit, and so they're when I was younger, it used to take like no more than a day to get the power up. Now they're like, oh, it might be till next week, type of thing. So to me, that says that there's probably only one or two supervisors that are older that know what they're doing, and then the rest of the younger people don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what I gather from that. But yeah, I'm glad it's back, dude. Dude. One morning, it's just wild, dude. When you wake up and everything's fucking dark and shit, it's like Pilgrim style, pretty much. I almost busted out a candle, dude. But yeah, I spent one night at my friend's house, another night at my uncle's house, and then yeah, I'm back here, and yeah, I got the power back, so it's a good night tonight.
Yeah, you got you almost want to put the AC on just for kicks.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty good though, but yeah, yeah, as far as the Delphi case or whatever, I think yeah, a lot of shit's gonna be dumping this year, dude. I've heard behind the scenes there's like 5 or 6 people that wanna dump all their shit, and they've been waiting to see how the wind blows, kind of, but it's going in both directions too, so it's pretty good, man. I think shit's gonna you know the whole truth is gonna come out, pretty far, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm not optimistic about any other arrests, but yeah, I do think everything's gonna be pretty much known. That's the thing, dude. A lot of people do know what happened already. They're just like blackmailed to shit or scared shitless.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's gonna
Speaking of
come
that,
out,
some
dude.
of your I think some of your sextortionists and sex workers probably had to like bail the Los Angeles area.
Oh yeah, dude. It's a
Allegedly.
lot of them. Yeah, yeah. The police were working with them for sure, man, and that's what's wild to me, dude. It's like I wonder how many other cases they've done that on, man. And you know, they're on meth, dude. They got that meth mouth, and it makes sense. Everything's making sense, bro. Um, but yeah, it is because of them. That's why a lot of people think it's organized crime, and that's why a lot of people are pissed and not going anywhere. So like, we're all like gonna be like ghosts, just haunting them for the next 3 to 5 years until they we're gonna beat them into submission, dude. Like fuck that shit. It's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. I can't talk about a lot of stuff, but um, you know, I have shown Prof a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's some wild shit, man. And it does prove the case is fucking organized crime. All these little shitheads, dude. We're just ripping. We're sucking your cloud away, dude. We're fucking it's alchemy, dude. We're
All
converting
the
it into our own. Yeah.
It's something I think because you know you and I use different words and shit, but you know I basically say troll farm.
Yeah.
But it's all the like swarming ass pieces of shit criminals around this case that I think people are finally starting to realize that it's an actual thing, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy,
you know,
man.
hey, there's something we got to talk about. I want to get it out of the way so I don't forget because you know me, I'll
Yeah.
forget, dude. So I was talking about that press conference. I don't know if you watched it, Alex.
The one with Carter?
The post sentencing press conference. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's all part of it, yeah.
Did you notice that in that they mentioned autopsy photos?
Yeah, dude. I mean, at this point, I don't give a shit because I'll just say what I think about that. They got state actors leaking autopsy photos now, and then they're like, those little fuckers are in the same chat, virtue signaling, and I'm like, and you got to mind you, these people are favorites of the families and law enforcement, and they're doing all the bad shit, man, and they just reek of drug world, of dark web, pedo world, of LE enforcement, strong arming, like sextortion world, like all that bad, like training day type behavior. I mean, here's the thing: most people, it's like training day behavior isn't bad if you get good results, but if you're doing it just to like bury shit or cover your own ass, and people don't really like it, and that's kind of like what we've been dealing with here, you know? Not real vigilante shit, more like cover your own ass type shit, you know.
Yeah,
So
but they say okay. See, they always try to put shit on. You know, it's like typical projection. They put shit on anyone but themselves. But it's like,
oh yeah.
why is it that it's these troll farm motherfuckers, these prosecution shills, are the one leaking the fucking autopsy photos
I
or
think
photos?
I
I
think
should
it
say,
was to
as
make
far as I've
mania or
seen, there's one. Okay,
yeah,
but the one
probably
that's
fuck
being
with the
leaked,
appeal process. I
yeah,
mean,
that
my
one that's being
theory,
leaked, it's one of
yeah.
the assholes, man. Come on, bro.
Oh yeah, and I think
Oh, did I lose him? Really, we lost you, Alex. Black screen. Black screen of death. Sorry. Sorry. If all you guys want to know how crazy I am,
there we go. I'm back.
I saw someone asking.
Yeah, I had someone from Indiana fucking call me some random number. I'll hit them up later. Uh, but
Hey,
man,
we
what was
might
I
as
gonna
well
say?
just name him, man. Get it out of the way. Fuck it.
What? Who the leakers are, or like the nature of it, or both?
I don't know, man.
I'm pretty blunt now, dude. I don't
I'm
give a
sick
fuck.
of this guy going around trying to virtue signal and all this shit, and he's sending around that shit.
Yeah, dude. Talking about Dan, Curious Dan. Can you hear me?
I mean, yeah, if
Yeah, it's
Nick
him, dude.
McClellan and Doug Carter are going to bitch about autopsy photos, they need to go talk to Dan.
Yeah, dude. He's bad, dude. He's
I
not a
get
good.
where they're coming
He's
from
not good.
because they're not
Yeah,
coming from me and they're not coming from Andy Baldwin.
yeah. I mean, I could say more. I think there's like, I mean, yeah. I don't think he's not good for the case, and there have been others like him, and there probably is going to be others that they send in after. But yeah, it's organized crime, dude, and that's like bare bones, you know what it is, and that's why all the commotion and bullshit, you know, and you know, one of the biggest regrets I'll ever have is fucking with me. I'll tell you that much, dude, because you
Troll
know,
farm.
Prof seen it do what we got in the fucking oven, dude. It's gonna just fucking blow the house down, dude. It's coming, man. It's gonna be a good one, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. But man, what was the other shit, man?
Let me shout
Yeah,
while you think of it. Let me shout out some of the super chats because I missed them. And hey, I hope y'all ain't left yet. Uh, it's a new day. Thank you for the super sticker. Mwah. Thank you.
I hope sooner rather. Yep, amen, Rebecca.
Keith
Um,
Kellogg, thank you.
I mean, yeah, I think the leaks was originally probably a mechanism if something got too hot as far as organized crime. Um, they would pull the trigger on it. And, I'm not a full believer in the Odinism theory. I think it's part of the puzzle. I don't think it's the whole fucking thing. But I think, yeah, they probably said something they didn't like or did something they didn't like that we don't know about. And that's why they fucking pulled that trigger, for sure. Get them fucking kicked off. I mean, yeah, I think that's why I got fucked with because I said shit that they didn't like as far as it being organized crime.
Well, yeah, because you're
Mm-hmm.
not saying it's a lone wolf killer. You're saying, hey, it's probably some sort of shady ass like organized crime type.
Yeah, dude.
And
When you
that's
have like
exactly
so
what I
many
think.
people with meth mouth like fucking with you and shit, um, yeah, you're like, yeah, this is organized crime, dude. It's like, come on, bro. And I think they don't really care because they know they got it in the bag a certain way. I mean, they could. It's like they could have it as far as nobody else getting arrested, but you're not gonna have it as far as the public narrative being in your hands anymore. I mean, it's pretty much like a community thing now. So all that like bullshit, it's out the window now. It's like we got enough proof that it's organized crime, and yeah, it's coming out soon, dude. It's gonna be a banger, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
dude. So you're safe from fires, man. That's I know everybody wants to know that. They know you're in California. I don't think that most people know where, and we're not gonna say, but you're damn
Yeah,
close to those damn fires. You're in the Inferno, but you're safe. So, and it looks like they're gonna keep you safe. So Alex is safe, y'all.
yeah, I'm gonna be safe. It's pretty good.
Um,
Yeah, man, I had a PE teacher, 2003 at San Diego fires when I lived in San Diego, and this PE teacher, she had a stable of horses, and they all burned down in a fire.
oh man, Yee.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. She came in, she was all upset. It's like a week later, but we got a week off for Halloween, and I had to evacuate both my mom and dad's house at that time because they were both in San Diego County, and then I got a week off for Halloween. And I was pretty happy, and yeah, I was playing. What was I playing back then? Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. I got into Star Wars for the first time during that time, and I was playing that game. This shit was sick, but that was probably the worst fire I remember before this one. Yeah.
Well, I saw some. There's some awesome footage of couple ladies like walking their horses out of before the fires hit, or when shit was starting off. Uh, they were like bringing their horses out, and that's some pretty like heartfelt type of footage to see, man. Those the poor horses getting the fuck out of there before it all goes up.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, it's always prime. There's always some bullshit why it's primed to catch on fire. It's like always some city mismanagement or they stopped doing something they used to or whatever. So, it's kind of primed. And with all that brush, we're like in a dry fucking area, and yeah, it's a lot of brush all the time. But yeah, I mean, it seems like over the years they just get kind of more sloppy in how they handle things. So it's whatever, dude. It's like I think after this will probably be like 20 or 30 years before another big fire in LA, if that. And
Oh
San
yeah.
Diego will probably have another one,
Yeah.
probably in 15 years. But Yeah, and I do think a lot of the fires were arsons for sure. So there's always an arson, dude. It's been this way forever. It's always like a homeless fucking person or
Dude, honestly, I think they're
a
all arsons. I think at this point, like they set off several spots. I wonder who the fuck it is. You know, I'm not. I don't want to go too far off my conspiracy theories, but I think that it's intentional this year. Like they waited until those winds kicked up, and they're like, "Yo, let's go light off some spots." You know.
Yeah, there was a couple other spots not in LA County, and it all looked fake as hell, dude. Like they started that shit on purpose, because it was just too many at one time. It's like, and in spots that it usually doesn't catch fire, like Fallbrook or what's the other fucker, like out in Palm Springs. So it was just a little too much. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, it's gonna be a good year, dude. I think yeah, a lot of good shit's coming out, and man, a lot of the bullshit's died down. Like that's what I like now, man. People are more honed in on the right stuff. There's not a lot of mania over fake stuff right now. So I'll give you an example of like mania over bullshit would be like the fake arrest bullshit right before arrest and right after, and that was by two different people. And I do think those were criminal underworld people, but yeah, organized crime, criminal underworld people, they're very intertwined with LE, paid by LE actors in local Indiana. They all have connections to like local Indiana, and they're the ones behind of a lot of the fucking mania, dude, on this fucking case. And wherever they're going after, I mean, we kind of stalled their plans, but they were gonna do the same bullshit, dude. Yeah, probably another organized crime case too.
Yeah, it seems like that's what they want to do is swarm those fucking. Hey, so did you see some of what I was showing before you came on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw it.
So what do you know about all that? What it like going back to the leaks? Like, because I know you were. I hate to say it. I
Yeah,
don't
in
know how
that
to say
part,
it.
that's where I came from, man.
I know
And
you were in the middle of all that with Cohen, Fortson, Fig, the whole fucking nine.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to disrespect the dead and stuff,
Oh
but
no, please don't.
yeah, I did. I did snitch back then because I was freaked the fuck out, man. This shit was freaky as fuck, and I thought I was dealing with the second actor type of deal, but you know, it was really Le playing games and shit, and organized crime. That whole thing had just organized crime tampering all over it. And yeah, it was meant to smear a lot of people, probably defense, but definitely a lot of sleuthers that were actually on prosecution side as well. And you know, yeah, I could say quite a bit, but I would just say, the person behind those games, and a lot of those games they're behind a lot of other games that have been going on before and after that for sure. So the people behind the leaks, or the people behind this extortion, the people behind um a lot of crazy shit seen on this case, pretty much, that
All
is not
of it. Yeah,
normal.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, here's what I think. Okay, so to lay the groundwork, right?
yeah,
There's good people on all sides. So you do have some good people who, I was thinking of that today. Like, say you're going to have some good people on that prosecution side who are just like misled. Oh, he ducked out again. It must be his phone. You might have to put your phone in do not. I'll have to tell him when he comes back.
no, I'm good, I'm listening, I can still hear you
I
if
have to
somebody
put my
texts me.
phone in do not disturb so the fucking
Oh yeah, yeah, I
so
see
the
what you mean.
incoming calls don't knock me off. But what I'm saying is, so I was thinking today how there's probably some truly good, well-intentioned people who are on the prosecution side, but they're just a little misled because they're lacking info. I was thinking how, the wanting to believe police and the wanting to have justice for Abby and Libby, that's a big thing. It's a real thing. So there's a lot of people who they really want justice. They really want to trust the police. They really want to believe them. And there's this whole thing. So you can kind of like, if you put down your guard and your skepticism, you could almost
Yeah.
easily kind of swallow the bullshit, you know. And there's a lot of people who've done that. So there are
Yeah.
some people in this group who are some good ones here and there.
They're used
But
as a
what,
buffer, basically. It's like an attention rabbit hole if shit hits the fan.
yeah, but
So
what I
then there's like
noticed,
layers to it, you know.
I guess the pattern that I've identified is that all these people that we're talking about with all the leaking, the trying to sway the case, the fucking behind the scenes like harassment and straight up like annoyance and trying to like fucking just harass the shit out of people, run them off and lie and also do all this like confusing with misinformation and shit. I've just noticed the pattern that almost all of them, I would say 95, 98% of them, they're all these prosecution people. That's where it gets a little alarming.
And
You
well,
know,
and that's too when you find out the ones that were the worst of the defense side towards the end of like during trial and post trial, they kind of got put back in formation. Like basically they did the big reveal, like, yeah, we've been with law enforcement this whole time, and you're like, fuck, bro. You're like, are you kidding me, dude? It's like, so they were the worst of the agitators on both ends of it, you know. And pretty much anybody. That's the thing, dude. We've caught them running off people that were pro family, pro prosecution, pro LE, and they ran them off. Sometimes not even because they even said the truth about the case being organized crimes, because they got into it with somebody that was protected, basically, and then they got ran off. You know, and that's happened quite a bit. And there's a lot of examples of that. But I think like Julia was probably an example. She's probably one of them. I think got said something too close to home and got she got ran off, dude. I think by probably LE actors. And I don't know if you remember, dude. She was pretty pro Doug Carter, pro law enforcement. But the one thing that would have been bad for her at that time, she was pretty pro the case is organized crime, and she wasn't hyper fixated on Keegan Kline and Tony Klein stuff at that time. She was fixated kind of on all of it, you know. So yeah, I think if she did get her ass off the case, that would have done it for her basically
yeah, I
back then, you know.
was really worried about that because you remember like she looked pretty upset, when she kind of made her farewell. She looked pretty upset, and I was like, "What happened to her? Like,
Yeah,
what
she probably
did
got threatened, dude. I mean, yeah, there's a couple people. I think ATL I heard she got threatened a lot. And there's kind of layers to it. So, like, a lot of the people doing the crazy amount of threatening on the most amount of people, you'll be like, oh, they're organized crime. It's clearly organized crime. And you look at them, and then they might say they're on defense, or this was like a year ago, 2 years ago. They're like, oh, they're on defense, or oh, they're unaffiliated. And then you keep watching them long enough, and you're like, oh fuck, they're with law enforcement, dude. You're like, they got Indiana ties, dude. They're like with fucking law enforcement, and then you're like, what the fuck? So, it really is organized. It is organized crime for sure. Oh yeah, yeah. Good on you, Criminal Network.
Yeah,
As
the
she mentioned,
California guy that's the Shrek head on a
it's not bad, dude.
good one, Criminal Network. You got shout out. You got the
Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude. No, there's good. It's pretty. There's a lot of hope right now. It's a lot of like, real hope. It's not like before where it was kind of up in the air. It's pretty good right now, and
Yeah, I mean, a lot of shit's so good. We can't even really talk about it till it's done, But
Right, right. And
yeah, it's
that's the thing
good.
that you know what's nice, man. Like not having to tell people what to think. Like that's a pattern I noticed too. Like
Yeah,
we don't have
exactly.
to tell people what to think. We can just show things. It's like this other side
Yeah.
that's trying to like they really try to tell you what to think. This murder sheet really upset me. Like, oh man, they've just lost like all credibility whatsoever. I mean, you can't tell people how or what to think, you know.
I know, dude. Dude, a lot of the worst offenders are like heavy fucking virtue signalers. They're out leaking pics and fucking harassing people, and then they're like, oh, we shouldn't make our own narrative on this case. Just stick to the facts. And I'm like, well, are the facts like fucking autopsy photos that you're leaking from law enforcement? Like, 'cause that's what you're sticking to, and you're not really helping the case, with that shit. I don't think it's like, um, no, they're pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad, but
Well, you know, I think they were trying to get you to be a leaker. They were trying to say, "Hey,
oh
after
yeah,
an
dude.
autopsy photo, leak that shit, spread that shit
No,
around."
I thought that shit was fake, dude. It's like, who the fuck does that, And a lot of people, it's not just me. A lot of people have gone either autopsy photos or the last batch, whatever. They got some freaky shit normally wouldn't get anywhere else, and they're like, "What the fuck is that, dude?" A lot of them, it's not even like, "Oh, this is scary. We got to do something about this." It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's not normal behavior. So, with a lot of these people, it's like walking in on a person like eating chalk, like My Strange Addiction or something, and it's like you're not even thinking about getting the medical help. You're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, why? Like, I don't get it. And then you just kind of want to leave the area. And then when you do, dude, they're following you around and shit. It's like, fuck, man. But yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of wacky shit. But all that bullshit and all that fucking ego and arrogant bullshit, dude. We're just overriding it all, man. It's like, yeah, it's organized crime. You know, you guys led us to a lot of gold in terms of why it's organized crime, and law enforcement's compromised. Pretty much the worst you can expect out of everybody is true, and then if you stick to that, you're fucking good.
It's
And
true though. It's true. Yeah.
yeah, and some are worse than others, and some are naive, some are not naive, and then it all adds up to it's organized crime, pretty much. Yeah,
Well, you know, it's same with okay. I don't want to get all in the weeds and shit, but I mean, it's you're known partially because like right early on when you popped onto the scene, you were like advocating for the Stevensons. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's sort of a similar vibe with Stevenson's. It's like, look, I can't tell you what happened. I mean, at this point, I don't think there's a direct killer tie to Delphi, but I think
yeah,
the tie is
organized
they
crime.
both reek of some organized crime, like over the top killing, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's that.
Oh yeah, dude, and yeah, I think they're connected through organized crime. Probably not the same perpetrator, but you know, yeah, for sure. I mean, it just makes sense. They're both like in the same area, and there's probably like I've told you before in previous conversations. There's probably crazy shit connected that we have no fucking idea about. And it may come out later, and it may, some stuff may not. But yeah, it's organized crime for sure, and um, yeah, it's wild. It's wild times right now, dude. It's wild. I mean, let me see. I wish I was on another case by now. I did have plan. I did make a run for it to another case, but yeah, they dragged my ass back in, dude. It didn't go quite as how they fucking they
They wouldn't
fucking
let you
planned
leave.
it to. Yeah. Well, let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna check this text from Noe real quick, man. Let's see. Can you call in and put me on speaker? Oh, yeah. Hey, Prof, hold on. I'm gonna give the link to fucking Noe real quick, man. Hold on. He wants to drop in.
What does he want?
You on, but just do audio only. All right, I'm back. We got it, dude. Is it back? Hell yeah. Shit, has this thing got a fucking delay on it? There we go. Woo! Yeah, what day of the week is this? Is it a Friday? Let me see this shit. Hell yeah, it's Friday night, dude. More the merry. Yeah, we got some good shit coming, man.
Checking the chat. Like I got all lost with the chat. I kind of got a headache though, so pardon.
Oh yeah, man.
Pardon everyone. I'm
Yeah.
I got a headache, y'all.
Probably you gotta take caffeine pills or something, man.
And HTC will be handing out the Botox discount cards. Oh, that's just
shit,
me,
man.
bro.
I'm gonna get Botox when we get true justice.
Yeah, we should get.
Damn, bro. Yeah, yeah, I'm hyped up, man. I wish I could. Yeah, fuck, dude. It's like, yeah, we can't even say the crazy shit going on, but we will soon, dude. Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's a trip, dude. But then that's a good thing. I heard with defense, a lot of people were dumping them info after trial, and yeah, they probably dropped them some real good shit, So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good, Let's Rebecca give us a hint. It's gonna be organized crime type shit,
Yep.
Pretty much.
I mean, it is. Look. Can we stop fucking around? See, Brad Rossi said that tonight, for lack of a better term. He was like, "Yo, can we just stop fucking around?" Like it's time to talk the way shit is. It's organized crime. Okay, this whole
Yeah, it
thing with
is.
Allen, it was a railroading. It's to make him lone wolf. It's organized crime. Now the question is, who are the criminals? Because that's what they've hidden. Will, that's what we can't tell you. Like I can't come here and tell you who killed those girls or anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of figured it's rigged to never be solved in that fashion, unless somebody like snitches and puts themselves at serious risk, because they have, jacked up people that have come out before. So that's why people aren't like gun ho to come out. They'll get as close as they could get. But yeah, we can't like solve exactly who the fuck, what the fuck happened, but we could because the police sure as hell didn't solve it, but we can say it's fucking organized crime, for sure. We could prove that. So the cartels are jealous of Delphi. Yeah.
Yeah, the cartels wish they had the protection that the Delphi killers did. Unless
I
it's
know, that's crazy.
so
Yeah, I mean, that's why that
YouTube
rumor
says
is.
is Alex a local of Delphi? Hell no.
No, and I did a good job as far as the connection with Stevenson's, but even back then there was a lot I didn't know about the case. And like 2 years ago, dude, I was, that's what I was saying. There was still like, was it just Alan and an apprentice? And that was the type of line of thinking back then when it really should have been like, yeah, this organized crime. It's like there's drugs involved, there's bunch of shit, crazy shit involved. Like, police are compromised. The worst you could expect out of all parties. Like, if you default to that, you'll be in a better place. So there's a lot of glossing over back then, heavy glossing over, and then that's why shit didn't work out or make sense. And now it makes a lot more sense, for sure. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Fuck
Hello,
yeah, dude. How
hello.
you doing, man? How
Hey,
you doing?
Every criminal high and low is taking notes on this shit.
what's up,
Yeah.
Prof? How you doing, bro?
Good, good.
How you
Awesome.
doing, Noe? How you doing? It's good to see
All
you.
right, man. Sorry to bother you on the phone. I
Oh, don't worry.
picking you off or whatever it was, but
Dude, I thought you were a stalker from Indiana because,
that was my text now number I was using.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
oh shit, dude.
yeah. I'm up late. I'm.
It's party time. Hell yeah.
I've been watching the Friday night party and just wanted to Coach Cruz come in here and say hello to Prof and to you and
Hell yeah, man. Have you played any gigs recently?
I played last month. I played 2 last month, and I'm doing another one this month. Yeah, I'll be
Oh,
up
that's good.
at establishment in Pierceton, Indiana, which is right outside of Warsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick, man. How is it when you plug into their sound systems, is it like all XLR cable and you plug it like into a mixer or something, or how's
I
that usually go?
They do all that. I just take my guitar and
Oh, that's sick, man. So they got like cables if there's a certain cable that needs to be like plugged in, they already got it ready, huh?
yeah, yeah. It's just an aux from my guitar to the system, and then he, balances the bass and the main and all that, and I go up there the vocals and we take it from there. I'm not
Yeah.
very hot. I have a small little amp that I'm kind of acquainted with, and that's what I use when I go to places where they don't have the system. But um, yeah, it's just go
When
up
you
there.
play live with the amp, do you put a mic? Do they put a fucking mic near the amp, or they just plug it directly in?
The amp. My little amp has the instrument and vocals, so yeah,
And dude,
it's
yeah,
a
it's a good deal, man.
nice little amp. It's a Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a Guitar Center recently, and there was a lot of people buying drum shit and guitar stuff. And last time I went there, it was pretty fucking empty. But no, they're buying shit like crazy now. And I saw they didn't even have a Moog synthesizer shit because people are buying that shit, and it's not like that's more for like live band,
Yeah.
stuff. The stuff they were buying for like bass and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy right now. There's like a resurgence, but yeah, it's pretty good, man. I got some XLR cables because I needed some, man. I just got the cheapo ones, but um, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Guitar Center wasn't fucking around in like
Well,
10 or 20 years, dude. Like if they go out of business, because of
Oh, they're
I'm lucky.
going. They're
Amazon.
going. Yeah, they're going.
I'm lucky
Yeah.
that we have Sweetwater here in Fort Wayne,
Oh, that's sick,
and
dude.
Sweetwater pretty much took over, ran Guitar Center out of Fort Wayne. We don't have a Guitar Center anymore in Fort Wayne,
Damn.
but I mean, Sweetwater is it's the shit, man.
They
And
have an actual like Sweetwater fucking store,
huh?
Yeah,
like a warehouse. Like you go in the warehouse and buy shit and all that.
it's the
They,
one. Yeah, it's the main one.
Fuck, man.
yeah, Prof, you're
Yeah.
familiar with Sweetwater. You get a lot of stuff from them, right?
I buy all my shit. Well, majority of my shit I've gotten from Sweetwater because they're.
Yeah.
You know the good thing about them. Everyone who's listening, look, Sweetwater. I want some. I want some free gear or some shit. Listen, give me some free cables. The good thing about Sweetwater is the customer service is like 100%, man. Like no matter what you buy, they take care of your ass. Uh, if you get to know your salesman, they become your salesman. They check on you. You got a warranty. I always buy my shit from Sweetwater. Plus, you get like a year financing on all the high price items. I always get my shit from Sweetwater.
Very true, Prof. They have an amazing staff. Oops, sorry about that. They have an amazing staff, and they have a lot of things to offer, man. They have open mics, open jams, singer-songwriter rounds. They have studio time,
Dude.
academy,
I got some sweet. Let me see if I got Sweetwater candy, dude. Because I got some shit from them like
Wow.
maybe 2 weeks ago. Did you guys get when you first ordered from them? Did that guy fucking call you on the phone and be like, "Hey, how do you find Sweetwater? Just hope you love your product." Did you get that phone call?
Yeah, they'll call you every time, every order, and they'll send you candy every order. I hate that candy. I give it to the little.
Yeah, it's like
They
barbershop.
got really cool
shit.
stickers, man. Do you ever get stickers?
They send you the stickers, the candy, the.
Oh, they send you the stickers.
They
Okay.
lube your ass real up.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, but
It's a good
my
deal.
first interaction with Sweetwater was the Live at Lunch series, man. In 22, it's kind of hard to get it, man. It's you go there, you showcase your music during the lunch hour. It's the fourth Friday of the last week of the month, the fourth Friday of the month, and
Yeah.
so it's 12 shows they do in a year, but it's hard to get in it. And I got in there in 22. They put you ad on the billboard on the highway. They do posters for you. They give you shirts, and
God damn.
they broadcast the show on the Bear, which is the rock and roll station in Fort Wayne. It was sweet, man. That was
man.
my first interaction with Sweetwater, and after that I just became a Sweetwater junkie. I go there at least once or twice a month.
Well, what happened the last time you had to get a new guitar? What happened to the guitar before that? It just wore out or something, or you want like a newer model?
No, my guitar, my performing guitar, which is the Black Jasmine, I'm so green, dude. It stopped work. It stopped the sound. I couldn't get it to play right, so I took it to my local guy here in Wabash. It just needed a battery, so he fixed it.
Oh, damn.
Brought it back to and
Got
I
an
put
extra one.
not too long ago. So they're still good, but yeah, I got 3 guitars, but the black is the one that I perform with.
That's not bad, man.
Yeah.
So what happens like when it needs to be restrung? Are you playing like live and then a string like just breaks or something, or it just starts to wear out?
I'll be screwed because I'll have to play without the string that breaks because I don't have an extra set at the moment. But I try to switch the strings every 6 months, and
God damn.
Lexers, they're my favorite.
Oh, shit.
Of nylon and metal or bronze.
Oh man.
They're pretty sweet.
God damn, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I know they do have like high quality strings they sell. You know, they're like higher. They're made to be more like durable or something. But
when I'm kind of low on funds, I'll use Martins, which Martins are like $10, but Alexas are like $20 to $25 for the set.
damn.
Yeah, but they're very strings. They're my favorite.
Yeah, I won't lie, dude.
So hey, have you guys been watching the attorneys coming out?
Mm-hmm.
The news media, and they were today they were with lawyer Lee. Did you guys get to catch some of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw some of that.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's pretty good. It's like if you asked me a year ago if they'd be on fucking StreamYard like Holeman and Rossi and Brad, I would have never expected that. Or even like Susan Hendricks with her own channel doing lives, like I would have never have guessed that, dude. It's crazy, but
crazy, right? Me too. I was like, whoa, this. But hey, I mean,
we need Kathy Shank to get on fucking StreamYard, dude.
But you know, YouTube, social media is where it's at anymore. You know.
Yeah, it is, dude.
You know, I
fucking
mean,
crazy, man.
Sometimes I like when Baldwin was on that guy Russ, I think, interviewed, or was it Jennifer? I don't know who it was, but it was Jennifer and Andy.
Yeah.
I went to see the video, and it only had like 300 or 400 views, man. And then they go on YouTube, and they got 2,000-3,000 people watching. You know.
God damn, man. You know, I won't lie, dude. Me personally, I like StreamYard better because it's almost like MySpace days when you could take really good photos and it was lower compression.
Yeah,
so so if you had acne or wrinkles, it just glossed that shit over. Because if you're on the actual news or then they like zoom in on all your pores and fucking bullshit. So like, yeah, you do look way better on StreamYard than anywhere else, dude.
Yeah, StreamYard is pretty nice, man.
Yeah, I shred it, man. I shred it on StreamYard. I love it. You know, in guest mode, but oh man, that's some good shit. But yeah, you know, it's pretty good right now, dude. I think yeah, me personally, I think the shit would be way more out of hand if it weren't for a lot of sleuthers and, you know, shit like that. You know, basically volunteers. Some didn't want to even be volunteers. They were kind of like stuck by circumstance as far as you know, shit getting out of fucking control, you know. But yeah, it turned out pretty good, man. It's going in a better direction, you know. I wish if I had it my way, I wish fucking, you know, somebody higher up would have got arrested, or at least the truth came all the way out. But yeah, they definitely fought that shit pretty fucking hard, you know.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they were burying shit like crazy. I mean, because that's the only time in my life they say after arrest, like, oh, this is connected or this might be connected, and they just buried that shit like within a week, dude. They were on that shit. So that's a sign of some like man on fire Mexican like criminal organized crime type shit, man, where they're able to just like snap a finger and bury shit. And yeah, it's fucking wild, dude. It's wild, but that's the thing. It could only go on for so long because even that mechanism to do the bearing and shit, it tires out eventually. So eventually something is gonna give, you know, or
yeah.
even if it doesn't, you just bypass it and go somewhere else, basically, you know, that won't bury that type of stuff, you know. So it's kind of like what's gonna be happening.
What do you guys think about the Delphi police chief getting or having to resign? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, it's probably. I mean, what did they say? It was for a stop or something. It's probably actually retribution or punishment for something else, and they're kind of just
well, they said
stamping it with that. Yeah,
he lied. That they made a stop, and he searched the vehicle without a warrant or something like that, and then when they went to the hearing or whatever, he lied about the circumstances on the search, and they caught him on a lie, and he led to his resignation. You know, that guy, I think his name is Nate Lamar. I didn't know he was a police chief, but I talked to him quite a bit when I was down there in Delphi for the hearings for the what was it, the trial, and he's the guy who is on video when Rick Snay and I walk up to Frank Meister and confront him about the threats on Rick Allen.
Shit, dude. That's what's weird to me, dude. A lot of the organized
Frank Meister was whining to the police chief. That's
it's like I mean, clearly a lot of those people, it's like you're organized crime, you know, like really what happened here. And like even if Alan's a part of it, whatever, you know, like that there's higher ups, and then they're like, they kind of fake passion, like, oh, it's him, he's a monster, and it's like, well, we have evidence, like you guys clearly know the whole picture more than us, so like, how can you fake it that much as far as like on some Broadway shit and being like, Alan's it. That's it. It's him. It's only him. Blah blah. And it's like, no, you guys are from the same game as him. You're from fucking organized crime. So like, I mean, it makes sense why they do what they do because it's like you really got to put on the show to sell that fucking lifetime happenstance narrative. But it's just weird to me, dude. It's a lot of effort, you know. So I could never threaten to kill over bullshit like fake shit, you know. It would have to be real, but you know, it's whatever. You know, they God knows what else is going on behind the scenes, you know, as motivators and stuff. But yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. I forgot you were there, Noe, for most of the trial days, huh?
I was there for the when the defense started. What do you call it? When the state rested and the defense took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty much the second half of for 2 weeks, 2 weekends. I was there 2 full weekends, and then like 2 or 3 days out of the week because I traveled back and forth. But during the weekends, I would stay there the whole weekend, and then come back Monday morning. And then now when the verdict, during verdict watch, I stayed there that Monday. Yeah.
Well, like, did you ever stand in line like overnight?
Excuse me.
Did you ever stand in line over nighttime?
Yeah, I didn't stand in line, but I would watch Julie's and it was Julie, Nancy, Bella, and what was that other girl's name? Truth and Justice or something like that. I can't
Oh,
remember.
shit.
There was one, and I would watch their chairs overnight. There was a night where it poured, dude, and it was very windy, like a storm came in, and I was over there fighting with the chairs, putting stuff on the chairs so they wouldn't tip over and fly away. But I didn't do line sitting. I, when I got there, the line was on the sidewalk. Well, no, not the sidewalk, the walkway that leads towards the front of the court building, and I couldn't go up there. But then I think there was the election. The week of the election, they moved the chairs to the sidewalk, and then I was able to maneuver myself on the sidewalk. I was only allowed to go on the sidewalk. I couldn't get on the lawn or anywhere on the property of the.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that guy Lamar, you see, when Rick, Fort Pitts, and myself arrived the first day that we met there, which was the day when Rick we brought coffee and all that. The police chief, well, Greeno went and told the police chief. He saw us and went and told the police chief that we were there. So they came straight at us, bro. We were there like 3 minutes, and it was the police chief and like 3 or 4 other officers. They came to us and said, "You guys, you can be here, but you cannot get on the property. As long as you guys stay on the sidewalk, you'll be fine." And that's what we did.
Damn, it's not bad, man. Was there any weird stuff at nighttime as far as people driving by yelling or
No,
any weird crap?
no, not really. I did a very extensive patrol, and you guys know, you saw some of that.
Hell yeah, dude.
I walked alleys. I went everywhere. I checked for. I was looking for the drone, the eye in the sky, and there was no signs of that, any of that. And in terms of like people getting rowdy and stuff, just basically what you guys saw. We had a drunk troll. We had them holding the signs. The day of the verdict, when the verdict came out, and the little fuss they made when the verdict came out. with that guilty verdict. But no, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary other than that.
That's pretty good, man. That's good news, man.
Yeah, I mean, for the most
Okay.
part, everybody behaved. I mean, I got a little bit of crap about wearing a mask and all that, but hey, I mean, everybody it's COVID season. It's
Yeah, man.
I mean, what the heck? What's
What
so?
do you expect, man? Yeah. I mean, it looked pretty fucking cold already there, man. But have you ever been? Has there ever been like a big case there before? Like, what was the biggest case there before the Delphi trial?
Um, in 2008, I believe, 8 or 9. I wasn't here. I was in Texas, but there was a guy, and it was actually here in Wabash, Indiana. There was a guy by the name of Scott Patterson. Scott Patterson, he had a construction business, and he was having an affair with a lady from Marion, Indiana, which is about 15 miles south of Wabash, and he killed his wife with a a bench press.
Yeah, damn. Man.
Yeah, and what he did was, I guess, he dropped the weights on the wife and pretty much killed her. And he claimed that he wasn't there, but his home surveillance camera caught him. He was on camera, and when the investigators reviewed the cameras, they knew he was lying. He was there, and they saw him carry something heavy in the truck, or the lady, and put her in the truck, and he drove like he acted like he had walked in there and found her under the bench press with the bar across her neck. And so they knew he was lying, and they convicted him of murder here in Wabash County. That was pretty huge case. It wasn't as big as the Delphi murders, but it made it on national TV.
Dude, a lot of those town squares in that state, they remind me of the movie Red Dawn.
Red
For
Dawn.
sure. I don't know if you ever saw that from the 80s, dude. What's another example? Probably like Back to the Future too. Like a lot of those town centers, they have that squared in feel, and in the middle is always a park or a courthouse, A lot of those towns, it's pretty trippy, man.
Yeah.
Damn. You ever seen Back to the Future, man?
A long time ago, man. A long time ago.
Yeah, it's like 40 years ago, man. But the fucking yeah, the courthouse definitely reminded me of that shit for sure.
Yeah. Well, Prof, I just wanted to stop in and say hi, and it's been a minute. I know that a while back I came in for just like a split second, and I was with my family, and they started looking at me like weird on the live stream, and you came to visit us, so I just said hello and jumped out. But yeah, I've been watching your shows, Prof. Every now and then I'll leave a comment, but I decided to take a step back and work on my channels, which, my channels, both of them are kind of small, but I'm doing what I'm doing. But I've been watching you and watching other streams. But I think that you're doing a great job in keeping the conversation alive, man. And you always have a decent amount of viewers. So yeah, I just had to back up, step back and take some time to do other things, man. But I support, I will always support what you do. Greeno touched base with me a couple of weeks ago, and he wanted to interview me for his docu series, and I was gonna do a live stream with Joe Swisher, and Joe Swisher canceled, so I had the day open. I said, oh, fuck it, I'll go to Delphi, and we made a video, but that's all it is. Immediately after that video aired, I had all kinds of people touching base with me and saying, "Are you hanging out with Greeno? Don't be hanging out with Greeno." And
Oh man, it's wild shit, you know.
Greeno, it's just Greeno, man. He's not gonna change. Yeah, I spent 4 hours with him. We did some footage, and he made a video, and he did an interview supposedly for the docuseries. He told me it's gonna be ready in February, so we'll see. We'll see.
No comment.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say that, Prof. I fully support your channel. I just had to step back, bro. And I was going a different direction, and I didn't want to be a distraction because you are very focused. You are doing. I mean, somebody's got to do it, and
a lot of work.
You are the one who has been. You have not let the foot off the pedal, and I commend you for that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, you have some good lives too, Noe, man. I like the format too. It's it's super spontaneous, and when you have guests call in and shit, that shit's like, it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's not bad, bro.
I don't want to, take over your Friday Night Live with Voorhies. So,
no,
want to say hello, Prof. Hello, Voorhies,
yeah, man.
and hello to everybody else on the chat, man. Everybody's always kind to me when I come in. So.
Good chat,
yeah, dude.
Good chat.
Yeah.
What's up, chat?
Good one.
Yeah. And I like it when you kick them trolls out right away. Don't give them a chance to distract you and stuff. I've been watching all this, bro.
I've been waiting to curse.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me in, Prof. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah, you have a good one, Noe.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Good night, man. You have a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching you guys, and then I gotta work tomorrow, so
shit.
Sleep, and good night, guys.
All right, man. You have a good one, Noe.
Yeah. Ciao.
All right.
I gotta admit, I just took a Benadryl at the recommendation of whoever the fuck recommended it. Was that Sleuty? Did Sleuty recommend the Benadryl for the headache?
Knock you out, man.
Sleuty, you convinced me. So I did some drugs.
Yeah, I stay away from that shit, man. Dude, one time I drank, I took Benadryl and drank vodka. My lips were all fucking puffed out, dude. Like, it did look like Botox, man. It was that, was it allergic reaction? That shit was crazy, dude. Don't ever do that, man.
Do what?
Alcohol and Benadryl.
Oh, bad mixture.
Like, yeah, dude. It blew up my lips. It was like Who Framed Roger Rabbit with the fucking redhead, the clone of her, and she was like chasing him. Jessica Rabbit, she had like a clone that was chasing the dude in Toontown. She had like big ass puffed out lips and shit. Yeah, that's what it looked like, man. It really puffed. It really puffed out, dude. And it was only the lips. It wasn't nothing else on the face or nothing. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? But it's an allergic reaction, man. Damn. Have you ever drank around like natives, Mexicans, or Asians that had that fucking alcohol gene, the Asian flush gene?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, look, disclosure. I don't drink anymore. But back in my young days, we had this guy who was half Asian, half Asian, and he had the gene. Bro, this guy, one drink.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They get all rosy, dude, and they start like rolling around on the floor and shit, and yeah, they really get fucked up, man. But
this guy, y'all, I'll tell this story because it's fucking hilarious. But I learned this after a while because I hadn't learned this lesson yet in life. Well, so he was, he had this problem. So we had a gig. He was a musician in the band.
Yeah.
So we were doing this gig and we finished it. And then I don't even know what happened. He disappeared, and I had after, I left the instrument. We left all the instruments and we all like, I don't know if we, what do you call it? we mixed with the crowd, like talk, chit chat, maybe got some food, talked to the bartenders. We kind of hung out for like an hour, and then it's time to pick up. And I'm like, so I start picking my shit up, and I notice his instrument is still there, and I'm like, damn. So I go look, and I'm looking for him, and I find him in the back, passed out. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm thinking, let me help him out. I'll just pick his instrument up for him, you know. So I was very careful. I made sure not to do, so I start like handling his instrument and like getting the case and like, trying to help him out and get it all packed. Cause I thought what I'd do is pack it all up and then go wake him up and try to get him from out the back of the club outside. So I was just finishing, or it's like 3/4 into like picking his shit up, and he spontaneously woke up and came in to the stage, and dude, was he pissed. He was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm helping you out, man, because and he's like, it's delicate, so I learned really quickly that night, don't touch another man's instrument, no matter what, like without permission first. And so after that day, I never touched his instrument again. But yeah, he had that Asian gene. But after that, it was funny because that's the night I realized it. And so for years after that, we toured all around, and it was fun after that because now that I knew he had that problem, we could like work it into the schedule.
Yeah. They'll
True
be out
story,
for a
y'all.
while, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't lie, dude. I don't like I haven't played live in a long time since I was like in a fucking middle school band or some shit. But yeah, shit's wild. One time I did do a private music concert at the fucking when I worked at the crematory. Me and my buddy, his name was Alex too. It was another Alex, but yeah, I was playing like what was I playing? Like circuit bent bullshit. So you know how that goes, dude. It ain't nothing.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, dude, it's all bullshit, dude. It ain't nothing. When you're drunk and shit, it's cool as fuck. But yeah, it's nothing you could really play. You can't play that shit in the car for sure, dude. But yeah, it was big back. Circuit bending was big back then and shit. But yeah, I mean,
it had its day. Some people are still holding on. The
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I mean, yeah, it doesn't sound that good. That's that's the big thing, dude. It looks cool, but it ain't that.
Tell them about. I know that I was going to probe you on this anyway, but Criminal Network is already asking. He's like, "Yo, crematory? Yeah." Tell them. I don't know how much you want to get into your family, but tell them about the crematory, bro.
Yeah. I worked at a crematory for a couple of years, like about 10 years ago, actually, and yeah, my family comes from like death care and stuff. So I've been an embalmer assistant. I've been a crematory operator, like licensed by Cana. I've been a gardener at a fucking cemetery. And then I just got out of it, dude. I worked other odd jobs. I was working retail, construction. What was the other shit? Industrial bakery, shit like that. And then, but when I first started out, working at all, it was all like death care jobs, because it was my stepdad at the time and my mom. That's like the type of jobs they could get me in easy and stuff. So those are the ones I was taking up, But yeah, I've burned a lot of bodies. I probably cremated like a couple thousand bodies, dude.
What?
Pretty wild. Yeah, dude. I used to fall asleep in there too, man. I would spend the night in there by myself because the freezer truck would be too overloaded or whatever. And yeah, it was crowded, man. I'm pretty sure it's a lot worse now. I'm glad I was out of there before COVID put on a lot more restrictions and more paperwork. But yeah, me and my friend, I got a couple people a job helping me out there. And there was like one summer, me and my friend were just running that place because the guy that was in charge of it, he had like a surgery or some shit. So it was me and my friend. We were running that shit, and then he pushed in somebody that had a wood casket. It was what's it called, witness cremation, and that casket just like threw the oven way hotter than it was supposed to be. And I think it was a hefty person too. So like, yeah, my friend was panicking and shit because it was smoke everywhere, and the machine, the filter, the cotton that protects. There's like a certain type of cotton or protection that guards the door, and it had been peeling off, so the flames were coming through the door and shit, dude. It was wild. But no, we had a rinky dink machine, man. It was breaking down all the time, and it was run by a tablet, like some counterfeit, like Android tablet kind of was the control instead of manual control. So the thing was breaking down like constantly, and yeah, it was wild, dude. It was some wild shit, man. I got a lot of crazy stories from that era, but it was a cool job being a young person, and yeah, I won't lie. When I would tell people that's what I did, they would get grossed out or like kind of freak out. It was almost like saying, "Oh yeah, I recycle. I go through apartment complexes and recycle, cans and stuff." It's kind of like saying that to a lot of people, But
Well,
no,
shit.
yeah, it was a good
Me, I
deal,
had a
man.
girlfriend who, see, when we started, she wasn't doing this, but like over the years, like a couple years into it, she went into mortuary, being a mortician, and boy, I never got used to it because she was like, I'd be like all serious, like, oh no, dead person, oh la da da da, and she'd be like laughing and joking and like, oh yeah, his hand, fell off the table, and then and I'd be like, why are you
Oh
fucking
man.
laughing about dead people? But for her, it was just, it just normal conversation. I could never get used to it until we broke up.
Oh yeah, I get nasty,
In
man.
time,
But
in time, that shit broke apart. I was like, you with the creepy dead shit. See you later.
yeah,
No, but that was I found it interesting how some people just like they, it it,
yeah,
it can be the norm. Yeah.
you get used to it, yeah, over time. And then yeah, I remember like a lot of removal people, they'll go through drive-throughs and they'll eat in the car and shit while they got like 6 bodies in the back and shit. And yeah, I got to that point too, but yeah, you get used to it with time because you get used to the smell. Like on average, like most people, it's the same death as like the same smell. It's only when it's a unique circumstance that then something's kind of different. Like they were found in a lake, or they got embalmed way too heavy. It's burned your eyes and shit, or both. And then yeah, but for the most part, you'll get used to it. But yeah, wintertime, no matter what, like clockwork, dude, people just start fucking dying like crazy, dude.
Uh,
Illness, depression, all sorts
no
of
way.
shit. Yeah,
So you're
bummy.
saying that in the thousands of bodies you've cremated, you noticed a pattern?
Yeah, they do smell the same, dude. And like sometimes, let's say somebody had a lot of iron in their blood or something. Um, yeah, you could smell that shit, dude. It would have like a nasty, almost sulfur type smell. And there was one case, man. I remember they were found in a lake. So they were in a lake for like a day or two, and they put a bunch of formaldehyde, and they put a lot of chemicals in them, more than usual, for a viewing. And I was driving a van, dude, and I had to open the window and put
Oh,
my face out the van the whole time because it was burning. It was burning my eyes,
I
dude. The
can't do it,
chemicals.
dude. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's too much, man.
I'm so hypersensitive. Okay. See, this is something like because we don't know. I'm not talking to you, Alex, but for everyone on the channel, like I don't know you all personally. That's what we're
Yeah.
missing. What we all miss because of this fucking internet is like we don't know each other personally, really in person. But if you knew me in person, one thing you'd quickly realize is like I'm super hypersensitive to smells and
Yeah, dude.
room temperature. Like I'm like a sensitive person, so I always have a problem when I used to work out in jobs. I always had the hardest part for me about working was the environment. Like, what did it smell like? Is there mold? Is there old fucking, I don't know, carpet? Metal smells from like the factory next door. I was always super sensitive to smells and still am. So I know, dude, that hits me in the gut. Like I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's gnarly, man. Yeah, some people would quit after a while because of stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, man. I mean, shit, that
JT
shit was
says,
crazy.
this is sickly but entertaining. Hey, well, you
Yeah,
talking
man.
to the guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was easy to get certified, man. It was like the test was pretty easy, and it's for all in North America, but it's really, most of it is it's not so much sanitation, like protecting yourself against like MRSA or crap like that. It's more not having the place burned down, because um yeah, in my opinion, dude, a lot of like the trays and machines and stuff, they weren't built for the type of people that are on this planet now. They were built for how it was last century and stuff. So people were a lot more thin,
Smaller, yeah.
90 pounds and shit like that. And then when you burn in like 400 pounders, a lot of them a day, then it really wears down on shit. Shit's super hot. Shit's just wearing out faster. So yeah, things catch fire a lot quicker and hotter than they should. So yeah, there was a lot of that going on, and that's why I would burn at night because try to get the most done and the heaviest people done at night because the neighbors would that were in the complex, they would try complaining. They would complain a lot, dude, and even, dude, I remember before the crematory was even permitted to burn and they weren't burning anybody, they were just like using it as freezer space. They already had people complaining that they were breathing in shit because they just wanted that shit out of there, man. They, a lot of that's what happens if you're in an industrial park, which is where most crematories get put. A lot of the neighbors are gonna fight that shit, dude. They don't want that shit there, so they're gonna say, "Oh, I got sick. The chemicals and the smoke, and this and that." So, yeah, that happened a lot, dude. We had a lot of like neighboring businesses complain, and then we would get fucking inspectors showing up all the fucking time, probably once every other month. And then yeah, I had a coworker who was fucking crazy, dude. So sometimes he would just freak out and start yelling, and punching shit, not the bodies, but he would like fucking just like equipment and shit. He would get stressed out. So he was causing a scene, and then fucking the neighbors would fucking report his ass, and then we have inspectors in there all the time, man. But yeah, there's a lot of wacky people. It's like I would have to say it's worse than true crime, as far as the death care industry, as far
What?
as
So
scoundrels and grifters and crazy people.
that's hard to imagine because
It's worse, dude.
true crime is the most scoundrelous, grifterous,
Yeah, dude.
skank fucking cesspool I've ever seen. But
No, it's
hey,
worse there, man.
what is it called? Is what I'm trying to say. That like say what is the role called that, or what is the test called? Like what's the whole title of it that you have to,
crematory
like
operator.
you have to take a driver's license exam.
Yeah, it's crematory operator.
Ooh, crematory
Yeah.
operator exam, y'all.
Yeah, you're just burning and shit.
Yeah, Alex has
Yeah,
good
dead.
story. Yeah, burning 400-pound dead people. There's a bunch of those in Indiana.
Dude, they're everywhere, dude.
They're everywhere, dude. This is the the fast food nation.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people had joints and metal shit in their mouth, and
Oh yeah, tell me about that. So when you burn someone, okay, let's say they have a titanium hip or something. Does that shit all melt? Or
no,
does
it doesn't
stay
even
in
melt.
form
They'll
and
get kind of like looks corroded once you're done, but then you put it in a bin for a while, and then you take it a recycling place. picks it up. They have like a deal with the recycling place, and
Oh God.
yeah, you can't put it. So after like a person's done, you would rake out all the shit, and it would have their joints and crowns, shit like that, and it would be hot, like really hot. And so would the ash too. The ash would be hot, and you couldn't put it in the processor to grind it up yet. So I would put it in a tray, then you put it in the fridge, like the freezer where the bodies are, and then you would let it cool down for like 20, 30 minutes. And sometimes I would put like two in there if they need to cool down, or like let's say it's a really big person, it would take up two trays, because you would pour it from the one from the oven was like a rectangle, and I would put it in these two smaller trays because it would cool off. They almost look like cookie dough trays, but with bigger edges, and then it would cool down. Then I would take like a magnet and get all the staples and crowns, all the bullshit, metal shit. Then I put it in the recycling thing, and then I grind it up. Because if you went straight from the oven, like hot, even if you took shit out with the magnet, like hot or whatever, you just put it straight in the processor, it would wear out the blade to fucking grind people up, So then, yeah, I would grind it up, dude, and I would have issues, like I said, with heavier set people. The family would bring a custom urn, and you would have to fit all that ash into one tiny urn, dude. So we'd pack it pretty fucking tight, dude.
It's not so. Oh my God, bro. Are you guys hearing this shit?
What they say? Can't see it.
You gotta pack it tight because there's a lot of ash.
Yeah, it was wild, dude.
This is bad,
Yeah.
dude. This is
Well, I would give it
World
to the
is
I
a
would
horrible
hand it
place.
over to families, dude, and they'd be like, why is it so much? Why is it so heavy? Or like almost like you mismanaged it. Like, oh, it should have been you should have like burned it more, or it should have been like a smaller amount of ash. But then it's like, dude, your fucking loved one was like 450 pounds. Like, what do you expect, dude? It's like it's gonna be a lot of ash,
We need a 5-gallon urn for this motherfucker.
Yeah, it'd be wild, man. It was some wild shit, man. And yeah, I mean, it was all right, but yeah, it's hard for them to get permits, man. It takes like probably 4 to 5 years to get permits for that shit, for sure.
Look at
There's
this
a lot
girl.
of people that want that shit.
I had my horse cremated. Come on, Kayla, really?
Yeah,
Whoa,
dude.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, those are bigger ovens too. And
whoa.
for dogs and cats, I know they'll do 6, animals at one time sometimes, and they have like little, I forgot what they have. They have stuff that kind of keeps them separated basically, but yeah, they got they got ovens for horses and shit like that. And yeah, those are separate. Those are definitely separate crematories.
Well, that's where you need to put the 400-pound guys.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that, man. No, it's wild, dude. When that's I was surprised my back didn't give out, man, because yeah, I had a system down, man, to get like heavy ass people off the floor. I would ramp it and shit like that. I had all sorts of tricks no matter where I was, but that's the problem, dude. You would go to like a mortuary in the hills somewhere, like 30 minutes inward, away from the ocean, and be an old ass mortuary, and they'd have a fridge, like a 3-person fridge, and you could tell that it was made for people like last century, So, it did kind of remind me of the movie WALL-E, where people they're just not built for the infrastructure that's going on, and yeah, I would fucking they'd have the heaviest person on the floor, and you got to get them into a van that's like way higher, or you got to get them on a table that's way higher. So they had hydraulic lifts and shit, but even the lifts don't go just down the floor. They'd be like probably a foot off the floor. So you would have to do ramps and shit like that, like with the wood boards or the medical boards that are plastic. And then sometimes I've had wood boards break and shit like that, but the medical boards, they would just like they would just fucking. I was afraid they were gonna snap, but they held up pretty good, man. But yeah, dude, like when you go to Kaiser or hospital, like every hospital, dude, yeah, they have like a miscarriage room where it's just a bunch of miscarriages like on shelves and shit. It's
Oh,
crazy, dude.
that
Petri
smell.
dishes, they're in little baby medical bags and shit like that, you know. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, it's wild. So like, yeah, you would pick up a big mofo, you know, earlier in the day, and then later in the day, yeah, you guys saw it. You'd have like a petri dish in the front, you know, front seat or whatever, and yeah, be there was a lot of paperwork too. Because as soon as you pick it up, you file paperwork, you take it in, you log it in, you file paperwork, you throw it in, you file paperwork, take it out, file paperwork, process it, file paperwork, and then yeah, it's a lot of it. But they need that because if they didn't, it would people get mixed up and shit like that, and then there wouldn't be a like a record of when shit was done and stuff like that. So yeah, it works out. But not only that, dude, the oven had like a little meter on it that would rat out if you were burning shit too hot, like or too frequently, or you know, shit like that. So if an inspector came, they would know if you had like put in somebody too quickly, or like yeah, didn't, or you ran it too hot and it went like, let's say instead of 1800 degrees, it went like 2300 or something. Like they would see all that shit. So if you weren't doing shit right, they would be able to tell. You know, it was almost like a seismograph that they had on the side of the machine. But yeah, that shit was crazy, man. It was wild shit, but it was a good, yeah, it was a good job as a young person. I won't lie, it was pretty fun. But yeah, now I don't know, dude. It's like I know some older people that do that shit, but they all have like assistants and stuff like that that are younger, and yeah, it's crazy, dude. My sister always called assist on the fire department.
I forgot what I was gonna say, dude. I got it. That took me on a journey, man. Well, I guess what I was
Yeah,
gonna say is, oh, I remember, is the Inferno. See, it's kind of appropriate, man. We're talking about the Inferno, right? We're talking about the
yeah.
fires burning people alive, and I guarantee you, like they've already found like some of the stories I've been seeing from the local dudes, boots on the ground over there across the street from you. They're saying like, "Yo, we're randomly finding fucking burned ass bodies in
Oh
almost
yeah.
every other house." Like, um, so a lot of people didn't get out in time, and a lot of elderly, they don't have no one, you know, like say old men and shit on their own. They don't have anybody get them out. A lot of people got left behind, and they're getting incinerated there in their homes, and they're just finding like the skulls and some of the bones and shit. So it's kind of like it's appropriate that we ended up talking about this, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they'll definitely burn in that heat, man, for sure. But yeah, it's gonna be like Katrina, where there's like a lot of people that never got found, or
yeah, truly.
yeah, get found
It
like a
seems
month
that it's
later or
similar
something.
signatures. Remember the Paradise Fire a couple years ago, where they were finding like a lot of molten metal in the street because the fires were so hot. The car pieces and shit were all fucking melting to molten metal and running down the street.
Oh yeah, dude.
So they're finding people, and they're also finding metal right now over in LA. It's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, and just like Katrina, besides looting, there's probably a lot of people like taking advantage, you know.
Yeah, there is.
The
There, I've
way,
seen some of that too.
yeah, either
One thing I do,
murdering,
they put in
you
the
know,
what do
getting away.
what do you call it at night when you got to get in before a certain time? They
Oh,
all
curfew.
yeah, the
The curfew.
curfews. They're enacting the curfews. It's horrible, man. That's what I wanted to just say. I know I started the show like this, but I think people are a little underestimating how bad of a disaster it is. You know, it's a badass fucking disaster. It's thousands of homes. You know, thousands.
Yeah, it's too many, dude. Yeah, man, that brush, dude. That brush is like they say they do control burns. I don't think they do, man.
No,
And
not around there.
I
No.
don't think they do at all. And they just let that shit grow forever, dude, and until it burns, you know. But um, yeah, dude. Yeah, we didn't get any rain this year either, so it's like whatever. It's all, dude. It's like all the fucking factors were set to make it fucking just light on fire like crazy. It was primed, and then I'm pretty sure it was a lot of arsons on top of it. So
That's what I'm
you
feeling.
know,
It's
and
arson.
they're probably arsons like keeping shit going while even if the fire started naturally, like they're starting shit as it's going, like making it worse. They're taking advantage in their own way, like they want, they like watching shit burn or whatever. I'm sure somebody fucked up their neighbor's house when they were away or something. That probably happened, dude. I wouldn't doubt it, dude. Yeah, they're
Look,
fucking
we were
crazy.
gonna have Alex. Look, we had a whole plan. We were gonna have Alex. We had receipts, and we were gonna do some. We just changed plans. Okay, we don't want to really get that deep into it, but
We do have some good shit coming out. I mean,
that's what I was gonna say. We got some shit coming, but we could
I
talk
kind
a
of
little
made a
more
deal,
Delphi.
dude.
We'll
Yeah,
get
as far
out of
as
here, but
Delphi, dude.
we just decided to kind of. I wanted to push it back a couple weeks because we have things that are going on that I don't want to get in the way of some other things with law enforcement.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we gave time. We put the word out to a lot of people, and they got it. And it's like, dude, just like, say, like, give a bit of the truth in this direction, basically. Not like steering the narrative or anything, but like, do you want to comment on this? Because if not, it's coming out, basically. So yeah.
So you so let's do this. Let's talk about Fortson. Let's give them that before we go. We'll talk about it a little bit.
Oh man, like
were you involved at all with tipping in Fortson for the shit?
Yeah, but a lot of people fucking started snitching and shit. I wasn't involved with the leaks, but I did. As far as other actor activity, that was probably the only tip I made 2023 was in regards to that, because that shit was freaky as fuck, dude. But there was something at play that was way above my head, and I still don't quite know exactly what the fuck was going on. But there was a lot of goals, I think, besides getting the defense thrown off or whatever. Whatever. There was something else going on there for sure, man. So
right.
And I think it was organized crime. As much as law enforcement, whatever. I think there was definitely an organized crime type tinge.
Let's back it up because I see everyone quickly forgets that Keegan Kline transcript was released. That was leaked.
Okay? Yeah.
So ask yourself, why would they leak that Kagan transcript? Why would that be leaked? There was intention behind that.
Yeah, I think there's more than one, organized crime faction at place or on the case basically, and they play games with each other, so they kind of like rat each other out time to time, and I think that's why, like Keegan, I think something happened where he was arrested in 2020. It was kind of retribution. I think they always knew about any Keegan or Lure, like alt Klein type activity, and I think it was kind of retribution. And like even with Allen, whether you think he's guilty or innocent, there's a lot of games being played back and forth between like organized crime factions with him as well, and with the leak situation and with a lot of other stuff. So in the future, if any big news came out, I would definitely keep that in mind. If somebody's like throwing some big shit out there, and you're like, well, this makes sense, but it doesn't tell the full fucking picture. It's not quite right. It's like I would. That's basically probably what it would be, is like factions, playing games with each other, basically. So like,
well, what I think is like. I think what they were doing is there was a time that Keegan Kline was going to be the lone wolf fall guy.
Yeah.
And then what happened, for whatever reason, they're like, nah, fuck Keegan. Okay. But at the time that all that came out, I think it was to lead the public down this path of it's that fat motherfucker,
Yeah.
And then it's funny though that when that didn't work out, and then we get to Rick Allen, the same type of shit happens. They produce the leaks. Okay, they drop these leaks for everyone to hyper focus in on Richard Allen. Now, I guess let me back it up. So would you say that the first way you became aware of Fortson was Cohen? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll just be blunt. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like a pipeline. There's like a lot of people try to take credit or back away from it for whatever reason, to either like hurt one side or the other, whatever. They're like, oh, I heard so and so read it out to Holeman. It all goes from Robert to Holeman, no matter whose fucking story you hear, pretty much, But the whole gist of that story is like, I mean, obviously, Murder Sheets didn't do fucking jack shit as far as investigating. It was all snitching, pretty much. But then it went to Holeman, and then the thing with Holeman is like, they already knew it was some like weird shit going on, like that was, I would have to say, organized crime tier shit, or LE backed like organized crime type shit going on, whatever. But that's where like the dark web and all that weird ass shit comes into play, But that's where things kind of go weird, because it's like, well, why wasn't there any like arrest for the leaks, and they didn't really cover that ground that much? And it's probably because of that, dude. It's because it has an organized crime tinge on it, no matter what, So they didn't want, they already knew, It's like they know what they're dealing with. So like, it's just like the same reason they can't say certain stuff on the case or go down certain rabbit holes. The same reason why they wouldn't do the same on that. It's like half compromised, half afraid, half already knowing what it is, or having hands in it, whatever. So, that's kind of what happened with the leaks, pretty much, in my opinion. And same with the autopsy photos now. It's like, well, they know who has them, who's spreading them around. Why don't they care? Because it's probably a LE fucking state actor, half foot in LE world, half foot compromised, like playing games on the case, same shit.
And then what gets me is, why do we have people telling us that those crime scene photos were on the dark web for a couple of years, dude, before all of this?
And this is like, what? All right. So like before trial, I'm getting harassed as shit and all that. It's like, oh, you made your own narrative. You're saying organized crime, blah blah blah. And then you got Paradox saying it's on the dark web, and they're all buddy with him. They don't give a fuck. So it's like, how come you're mad at Alex? You're not mad at Paradox for saying he's going against the narrative. He's saying on the dark web and shit. Why? Because one's trying to help, one's trying to hurt, one's like, in the know from that world. That's why they're friends with him, basically. Like they know what he's about, basically. Me, they know what I'm about too, but I'm not one of them, basically. So that's why you could say two people could say similar shit, but if one's not with them, then you're gonna get
harassed to shit. Yeah.
So I'll give an example too. Like Ruckus, past 2 years, been saying it's organized crime. Oh, it's but in not the truthful way. It's like Robert's lore bullshit. It's like, why are they mad at him for having his own narrative and saying the girls were kidnapped and shit, but they're mad at me, and I kept my mouth shut most of the time, right? And I come out, it's because my shit was hard hitting, because it's like, it's truthful, basically,
Yeah, that's a pattern I noticed. Anytime you're over the target or you're saying some truthful shit, the fucking swarm harassment,
you're gonna get it.
Run your ass off, shut your ass up, shit comes.
Yeah, so
I get what you're saying. So
it's a sign of organized fucking crime. It's organized crime shit, bro. Pretty much, So there's more examples of that and shit, but
we have received, I guess, guys, what I'm trying to shut Alex up about it now, because I think we'll stop. Like we have some receipts of various, all of it. Like, trust me, when you put all of this together, there's a very clear picture. And
Yeah, dude.
and that in the next month or two, you know, we're looking at in the next months, we're gonna lay this shit out very clearly. And but I think all of you already know. And now, like I say, that if you also have to keep this in mind, there's likely going to be a second trial. So I'm trying to be careful that I don't jump the gun on the second trial, because if an appeal is granted and there's a second trial, all of this criminal underworld evidence is coming into it. Okay. And I'll say this means the cartel, this means the Kokomo crew, this means the meth dealing and all of that shit. So just be patient. I know it's hard, but listen, these lawyers, they went this route with Odinism for a reason. But of course, there's more to it. And they've been playing catch up. You know, they came into this 2 years ago, not 7. So I think that what you'll see is over time, like we all know what was going on with all the dealing and the snitching and all the shit that was going down. We know about the Cianola and all this shit. So I think when it comes around, it'll be more understandable, but it's not necessarily the time to I mean, just trust me. What me and Alice can start to do is show you we can show you like the harassment team, because it's just so weird that these people would be using the internet to facilitate their fucking crimes and their business. But I thought about that a while back. Is
Yeah.
this is like it is the modern age. Like everybody uses the fucking internet, so why wouldn't criminals?
Yeah. I mean, they did a bad job, dude. They had some bad contractors, man, because, like, I don't know. That's the way I view it. I'm like, shit, why do you guys even arrest anybody if it's like that? You know, if, like, that's what you're about. But there
It's a
probably
cover-up.
is a reason. Yeah. It probably, like, some double jeopardy thing in their head or something, you know. There's some sort of reason, but, yeah, I mean, I did, you know, we did tell like the police and shit. It's like, hey, we're giving you till this amount of time. Just say it's organized crime. Like, stop beating around the bush. But
Today is not that day.
yeah, I don't think they're allowed to, man. I think there'll probably be consequences if they do. You know, so they got to have people that aren't part of that game or out of reach to say it for them, basically. I think, dude.
Hey,
Yeah.
but I'm good. Look, we've come. I want to say this. We've come to a real fucking good place. I don't know if all you realize it, but put yourself back a year or two ago
Yeah, it was confusing as shit.
and think about
Mhm.
now all the things that we're able to say. The lawyers are able to say things. Shit, even Kathy Allen can come out and say things. Like everyone can talk right now. And so that is going to be good, because when people talk, things get worked out.
Well, that's how you know it's organized crime, dude. When the gag order lifted, not a lot of even. Let's say we were in a scenario where it was lifetime happenstance murder and no organized crime, you would hear all sorts of wacky shit on Allen that was like backed up, you know, like, yeah, he's a fucking, this or that, and he had this history, and here's the proof. The reason you don't see that, and it's because people are afraid to talk, because like we've seen there's like consequences, you know. So that's why, dude. I knew something was up when those Google searches didn't show even a Fig Sauls or a Sunny Justice or, even Rick Snay at that time, like who was on YouTube. I knew something was up because like any killer of like Delphi, they'd be searching up all the YouTube shit going on at that time. So the fact that none of that was on there at all and it was like some bullshit, that's like they had some meth head like fucking weirdo like fucking making up those searches basically, they're like, hey, we need you to get something quick, like, put in the Netflix shit, whatever. Like it just didn't hit hard. It wasn't realistic, so it wasn't even searching as a person who did a murder of somebody that's like actually trying to be aware of like the circumstance of the investigation basically. It it was just very like low IQ done. Almost like they do shit like that sometimes, like a taunt, you know. It's like, oh, this is good enough. Like, it's good enough. Fuck it. Like, if it's not good enough, doesn't matter, because you know we got we run this shit basically, so it doesn't matter. Basically, you know.
And
But
bro,
yeah,
you're let me blow your wad here. So secret is you're working on a video game. So
oh yeah, I'm getting back into that shit, man. I haven't gone into that stuff in like 4 years, man, because I had a lot of craziness go on, man. And I mean, true crime was a part of it, but it wasn't all of it. But yeah, I got back into 3D and shit for the first time in years, and it's going pretty good, man. I'm doing shit, nothing for Delphi, but other true crime stuff, and
yeah,
yeah, I'm
confidential,
excited
but you'll
for
be
it.
seeing. You guys will see some of it. It's confidential, but you'll be seeing. It's cool. It's cool shit.
Yeah, it is cool, man. I like it, dude. It's yeah, a lot of that stuff too. It wasn't around last time I was dicking around with 3D, so I'm pretty happy, man. I still remember how to do all the shit I did and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool when
Oh,
it's
let
done.
me ask you this too before, because I want to end it, Alex. But before
Yeah.
we end, let's finish with this. Um, remember I was talking to you about the Roblox reenactment of Abby and Libby?
Yeah.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I saw it when it came out, dude.
Yeah.
That
Can
shit
you
was
talk about
crazy.
that some? Can we talk about that before you go? Because I
Yeah,
haven't been able to get a copy.
yeah, it reeked of organized crime. Basically, like someone had some guilt knowledge of the crime, and that's why it got taken down. But what's weird is the YouTuber that posted it had like a huge fucking following, and they weren't like on true crime or anything. So it was just another way of like organized crime taunting in a way of having knowledge that they shouldn't have. Basically,
So
you know.
let me describe it for those who don't know what we're talking about. I see heavy
Yeah.
metals like what the fuck. Um, so what it was is somebody. He was kind of a big Roblox channel or
Yeah.
Roblox creator.
Yeah, it
Made a
was. Yeah.
game reenacting the Delphi murders with the lone wolf perpetrator, right? And it was very perverted and intense and nasty and gross from what I understand because I've never seen it. And what they did is they had to probably have how many would you say, like 3 or 4
Yeah, at
people
least 3 people. Yeah.
in order to record this? Okay, so first they had to spend like probably hundreds of hours building the game and then have to
Reenacting it.
organize 3 or 4 friends and everyone get together and like act out this scenario that they had pre-planned. Am I right?
Yeah, it was just very odd, man. It was weird when it came out, and it didn't stay up too long. But people got copies and stuff, and you know, I know people who have a lot of people that have copies are they don't want to give it up, you know. But I wish I had grabbed it when I saw it. I didn't realize how important it was when I saw it, you know. But
Do you think that was around 2018 or 19?
no, shoot, I want to say 2021, dude. Maybe it could. That's when I saw it. It could have came out before, but it didn't make it. Probably not even a year long after that, dude. I know it
It was
got taken
perverted.
down.
I read all the descriptions. They were like the killer in this game that was recorded. The killer
Yeah.
was like super perverted. He was getting all hyped up about killing the girls, and they acted all this out. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You know?
I know, dude. Yeah, it's a sign of fucking organized crime, man. But yeah, I mean, shit, it's organized crime, so you're gonna get shit like that, you know. But yeah, I mean, that explains too, like a lot of the weird shit on Facebook, like people that had, you know, knowledge they shouldn't supposed to, they weren't supposed to have, basically.
I mean,
you know?
it seems to me like whoever would have done that, it's probably like one of them involved. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say, or they saw it on the fucking website that everybody's talking about, or something, you know.
Right. So that's what I'm wondering. So I'm wondering, was there a snuff film or photographs or something like that? Or was this what started that rumor? Or was it both? I don't know. It's just one of the weird. You know how this case has 250 weird fucking or 250,000 weird fucking anomalies. It's one of them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to let
Yeah, I think it
Alex.
will come to light again eventually, you know, but yeah, that sign of, you know, people online knew for a while like how shit went down, I think, you know, that weren't in the state of Indiana. And yeah, and I think me personally, I think law enforcement knew how it went down for a long time, dude. Probably before it happened or whatever, but at least since the first month of it happening. And it's a sign. It's not like, oh yeah, law enforcement killed the girls or whatever. It's like it's more that it's fucking organized fucking crime, dude. That's how that shit spreads, word of
I wonder if
mouth and
law enforcement ever even
participation.
seen it or had that, because like that seems like an important thing to check out.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, there's rumors of websites where law enforcement's like leaking coroner photos and morgue photos, shit like that, you know, crime scene photos. So, you know, I tend to think it's more not that and or it's that and something worse along with it. But yeah, I think it's fully possible that shit was on the internet for a while, you know, probably since it fucking happened, you know. But yeah, it's some crazy shit, man. I mean, we've seen enough with our own eyes that we know like law enforcement's at the very least under duress from organized crime, and we've seen signs that at sometimes they have been you know, doing shit on their behalf basically. So it's messy as hell, dude. It's a fucking mess, but yeah, if you simplify it all, it means fucking organized crime, you know? I mean, I'm just thankful a lot of what we're dealing with on this case in particular, a lot of them are older and not younger. I don't know what the younger crowd's off doing, but they're definitely not the ones that they keep like hovering over, you know, monitoring these cases, you know? And I've seen a couple younger ones are in their late 20s or whatever. Not that many though. Like Justin Lowe, he would be an example. I think he was in his late 20s. There's a couple like that, you know, but they don't stay too long. The ones that stay the longest are usually older, and they usually do have you know, law enforcement connections, you know, or they're up in the Kool-Aid prosecution defense side, both, whatever. So yeah, you don't see. I can't name. Can you name one young person that's like up in the Kool-Aid and they're like working with both prosecution and defense, talking with them? I can't name one, dude. But as far as
Yeah.
older people, I can. Yeah.
Shit. All these women, all these sextortionists are like fucking old hags. They hit the wall so long ago. I mean, they're just on their last leg, man. They're used up, spit out,
Yeah.
thrown away. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I don't know
know.
where the younger ones are, dude. Like they're yeah, even like I said, they must be breadwinners or in training or something. I don't know how it works, you know, but you don't see guy and girl. You don't see too many the young ones, you know, fucking on the scene. And when I have seen younger people, they usually are being like, even myself included, they usually are being monitored or what's that called? Like kind of being groomed or whatever.
I think you honestly might be the youngest person on the case, Alex.
Shit,
Unfortunately,
there's a couple younger than me, dude. Yeah, I can name like 3 or 4 younger people younger than me, but like, yeah, even those people that you know I know about, it's like you're not like a heavy hitting type person as far as calling the shots and shit. You know, they're usually, like I said, you're being cultivated or monitored or you know, as I said, groomed or whatever, or fucking. They're not doing the craziest shit on the case, you know? Yeah. But, yeah, it's wild, dude. It's fucking, you know, it's gonna be a good fucking year, I'll tell you that much.
yeah. Well, God bless, bro. Alex
Hell yeah, man.
Voorhees from the Inferno. He's burning up, but as you can see,
Yeah.
he's cool in space right now. So he's safe. He's safe, bro. I mean, I if it wasn't for the headache, I'd probably go 2 more hours. But
Yeah, amen, dude.
I truly do thank you for visiting, bro. I know all my viewers have been wondering where the fuck is Alex, and he's around. He's around.
Yeah, it was good, man. Yeah, we got some good shit in the works, and yeah, I'll be back soon, man. It's gonna be fucking good, you know. It's gonna be a good one, dude. It's gonna be a good year. It's definitely better than last year already at this point in time.
Oh
Other
man,
than
mega, yeah.
you know,
We made strides, bro. Especially me and you. I gotta say, dude,
yeah,
you and I, like from where we come from to where we are now, like we made some strides, dude. People don't even realize. Like we made some strides, and I'm so proud of this channel, what I've done. I'm proud of you.
yeah. Thank you, man.
I think we did good.
Yeah, amen to that, man.
People
But
gonna find
shit,
out.
hell yeah, dude. But yeah, you guys have a good weekend, man. In the chat, fucking prof, you know, Noe, if you're watching this, fucking, you have a good one, man. But shit, dude, I'll catch you guys later. You fucking peace out, man. You have a good one.
Alex Voorhies. Alex
All right.
Voorhies. Good night, Alex. Stay safe,
Later,
bro.
man. Night.
Safe. All right. Whoa, he's out. That happened so quick. All of a sudden, he's gone. Alex Voorhees, y'all. He's taking it easy in the midst of chaos out there. And gosh, I got to tell you, this whole thing's really weighing on my heart with the tragedy out there. As you know, or you may or may not know, I went through Katrina. I'm very familiar with absolute devastating tragedy. And Katrina, I lost basically all my neighbors. Like you don't understand how many people I know that died within days. Okay, within days. So I evacuated, and these people within 2 days were gone. Uh, most of my neighbors, because they were old and they stayed behind and they drowned. And so I know what it's like to experience devastating loss, and I really feel for the people of Los Angeles. Uh, your lives will never be the same. Okay, your lives will never be the same. It's just the way that it is. Tragedy strikes us like that, and it changes you forever. But the thing is that it teaches such good lessons to lose everything. Okay, to lose everything and only have yourself and the clothes on your back and whatever's in your car. Uh, you learn something, I think, about the long picture. You know, about the long view about life. Um, and so, quickly you learn that what's important are the people in your life, and the intangibles, not the house or the books on the shelf or whatever possessions. And so, I don't know. I'm getting all like sentimental and stuff, but it's just truly. I feel really sympathetic to what's going down with those fires, which they're coming more under control, but they're still burning. So anyway, I just want to thank Alex. Thanks to everyone who's commented in the chat. Um, so yeah, so yeah. Uh, that was about it. I mean, I think we covered, for lack of a better term, the inferno that is Delphi, and I like that. I like that. That was a good job. I want to say thank you to everyone. Look, if you're on the replay, leave a comment down below. I know you missed the live chat, but that's no big deal. Hey, like I said, you can't be regretting what you've lost. But you got the opportunity now to leave something down in the comment section, and please support the channel. For those of you here, look, we got Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, the Super Chats, and the various ways you can support the channel. Please do support the channel. I appreciate that. It helps me out, helps me keep going, but helps encourage me to not stop, because it's hard to go all day, every day. It's a lot of work, and it's hard to do a lot of these shows, but I do them. Um, but yeah, so those of you who came in late, uh, join that replay crew. I see you, Cromley. I covered that at the beginning of the show. Go check out the beginning of the show. Hit that replay, crew. I appreciate so much everyone who was in the live chat. Thanks for contributing to the live chat, y'all. Y'all keep the chat popping. I know when I was covering the first half of the presentation, I missed all of the chat. So what I'm going to do is when I watch the replay, I'm going to watch the chat and see what you guys were talking about. But I saw for the most part the subject matter. So that's what it is. And like I said, I'm so glad that this gag order is lifted and everyone's able to speak, because people will be able to judge for themselves what reality is and what it ain't. And that's because we're all able to speak freely. And let's keep it that way. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's see, I want to see if I want to put something here. I want to say thank you to the super chatters. And that's It's a New Day, Keith Kellogg, Jamie Dawn, Spike Dog, and Bjorn Blom. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All you other YouTubers who actually do YouTube channels, thank you for being here too. It's an honor to have you. Truly is. And that's it. That's it. That's all I got. So good night to you. God bless. Hug your kids. Hug your wife. Keep fighting a good fight, y'all. Talk the truth, okay? We'll see y'all later. I'm going to go nurse my headache now and get some rest. So God bless you all. Sweet dreams.